呀！
金山岭长城，金山岭长城。亲爱的各位跑友，您现在关注到的是2025金山岭长城越野赛及萨勒蒙黄金联赛世界系列赛中国站的比赛现场。各位观众，大家好，我是今天的主持人雅黑。那么坐在我旁边的也是我们的老朋友，来自萨勒蒙的杨奇。
Hello， 大家好，
欢迎欢迎。那我觉得刚才已经看到了，就在我们的比赛的现场，就在金山岭长城的游客中心，也就是我们今天整个赛程的起终点现场。我相信大家和我们一样啊，心情呢都会非常的激动，又是一场世界级的短距离竞速大战即将打响。
是的，我们都非常期待这场比赛。
那么随着上一周啊，2025萨勒蒙黄金联赛的世界系列赛是正式揭开了帷幕。那么在日本神户的比赛呢，也是让我们感受到了短距离越野竞速的魅力。
是的，那我们来跟着镜头一起回顾一下2025年黄金联赛世界系列赛第一场比赛日本神户站的比赛。这场比赛的公里数是20公里，累计爬升2000米。
其实大家也会去称呼为这个赛道是一个魔鬼级的。
对，是技术难度非常大的一个赛道。
那其实我们也看到，其实当时这个赛道给我的第一印象哈，其实跟今天会有一点像，因为也是在烈日当空的这样的一个情况下，然后呢也是面临一个高强度的一个爬升。
是的，对，像日本神户站这场比赛，其实它的累计爬升因为有2000米嘛，所以说技术难度比较大一些，而且它的特点是它是一条花瓣状的赛道，所以说大家看到的这个起终点其实是位于日本的摩耶山的山顶，所以选手们会反复的经过这一段赛道，这个起终点，然后会跑出一个花瓣的形状。
对，其实作为世界赛的一个首战哈，我觉得当然，在日本的这场比赛，其实我们大家可以看到，它这个拱门的设计啊，非常有当地的文化特色。
是的，
我觉得这个给大家眼前一亮哈，也会非常有这个是日本传统的这个千鸟建筑的这个样式。那当然，整个比赛的最终的一个表现，大家的运动员的状态，我觉得还是可圈可点，非常精彩的。
是的，大家可以看到刚刚，其实在日本神户站获得最终男子前3名的分别是肯尼亚选手 Patrick、肯尼亚选手 Philemon 以及罗马尼亚选手 Bogdan， 女子选手是冠军 Sara Alonso、亚军马德琳娜以及季军马兰奥萨。
那么当然，他们这一次也来到了我们金山岭的现场。
是的，每个人都来了。
是的，那么其实第二站啊，世界系列赛的第二站就来到了中国。当然，这也是萨勒蒙黄金联赛的一个惯例了。我们从东方启程啊，逐步向西进。所以在中国的站的比赛呢，是选在了金山岭长城，这是一个全新的赛道。那其实我觉得选在这里，应该是有很多的原因在里面的。
是的，
我觉得金山岭长城作为中国文化的一个标志性的象征啊，也将会给整个黄金联赛带来一个全新的感受和体验。那么我们先用一段短片，让大家一起来领略一下金山岭长城的雄奇壮美。的确啊，春夏秋冬啊，一年四季，金山岭长城都是美景如画。当然，大家也不要被这美丽的风光所迷惑了。我们金山岭的赛道其实真的比我想象中的要难得多，因为杨奇老师也是跑了全程了。
对，应该是周4跑了全程，
已经感受过它的这个压力了啊，
非常难的一条赛道。
所以我觉得真的，我觉得这也可以。我感觉也是一场攻坚战哈，因为我们的这个长城的确是会给大家带来一个很大的挑战和考验。那今天当然我们现在看到的天气情况其实是优于我们前2天的，因为我在周一来的时候呢是进行整个全程的测线，那个时候的日照会更强烈。今天呢，整个的天空呢是有一些薄的这个云层。
是。
那么我们来自气象台的消息呢，现在的温度是24度，当然这个温度
还是比较高的。
还是比较高的。当然外面的是会伴有 5到6级的一个阵风，所以今天的风力会比较大。那一方面呢，可以让我们的体感呢会有一定的清凉，那同时呢，风阻也会对选手的发挥造成一定的压力，因为我们很大一部分的赛道是位于山脊线之上，包括我们的长城城墙之上，那整个的相当于其实是在风口顶端了。那么大家会去面临多方面的挑战。我们接下来也看一下我们的这个赛道信息啊，是的，全程24.2公里的一个赛程呢，累计爬升，现在是修正到了1889。对，因为最开始公布的数据其实是1489。
对，
所以当时大家觉得，哎，好像难度
不是很大。对，但是其实包括我跑下来的手表数据大概是24公里1900左右，所以说和公布的数据和这个修正完的数据是差不多的。
好，我们现在看到。通过3D 动画的演绎呢，我们能感受到整个的赛道啊，其实都是分布在我们的山脊线之上。
对，就全程都是山脊线。
对，因为其实我最开始是有一点轻视啊，我是觉得我们华北地区的山岭呢，实际上起伏不高啊，可能虽然在山脊线之上，但是
It's an adventure. My name is Miao Yao. I'm Chinese runner from Saruman.My hometown is a small rural and modest village. When I was a kid, I usually to help my parents for a farm. I started in trail running because I wanted to earn money to live my own life. For me, this race is special.Because it's at home. Last year, it was the beginning. But this year, I want to
win.The Golden Trail World Series is back with the Kobe Trail in Japan. 4 loops with 2,000 meters of ascent across 21k of technical terrain. Last year's series champ Kenyan Joyce Njiru led out Romanian Madalena Faria and Spain's Sara Alonso. Meanwhile, Switzerland's technical specialist Joey Hadorn led France's Sylvain Cachard, then Kenyan's Philemon Kiriago and Patrick Kipangino. On lap 2, Joyce's 20-second lead vanished with a wrong turn, leaving Sara and Madalena now battling at the front. The heat was punishing Patrick and Joey, trading positions, ahead in the men's. Sara attacked the penultimate climb and built a 6-minute lead to win in 2:53. Madalena Faria taking second, with Spain's Malinosa overcoming Japan's Takako Takamura on the final lap. Patrick also broke free on the third climb to retain his Kobe title. Teammate Philemon, claiming second, pushed all the way to the finish by Romanian Bogdan Damian, his first ever podium. We're back next Saturday with the Jinshanling Trail in China. See you there.
的发枪仪式。差不多的时间呢，我们精英运动员也可以陆续进入我们的集结区。我们差不多在几分钟之后，将会迎接我们男女精英前10的运动员入场。在2点钟将会进行的是女子精英的发枪，请各位在现场准备就绪。其他大众组的成员、其他的来宾，如果有兴趣的，可以陆续的围到我们的铁马的长廊间啊，2个拱门之间的铁马是留给观众们、给我们的精英运动员加油呼喊的。要 1 2 1 2 please welcome everyone to 2025 Salomon GTWS representing Golden Trail World Series. Here you are at the second stop of this year at China, Jinshanling Great Wall Trail. We're about to start the Women Elite at 2 p.m. And we're about to present the top 10 Women Elite in like 2 or 3 minutes. So please get ready for the show. Please get ready for the race. 其他的精英选手啊，可以陆续进入我们的集结区，进入我们的出发区域。呀，现场的 DJ 呢，可以来点音乐啊，来点我们背景的音乐，让我们的运动员也可以来一点精神弹蹦，让他们嗨起来。OK， 我的眼神总是不太好，不知道有多少人围在这一边。待会儿是不是会很尴尬呢？没有什么尖叫声，让我听一下。准备好精英运动员出发的来宾们，尖叫一下，给我听一下。OK， 不错，挺好，够大声，但是又正好，哎，没有把你的力气用完，要把我们的力气啊交给我们的精英选手的入场。
Nice cut it.
现在是北京时间下午13点48分，离我们的比赛开始只有12分钟。如果平时你等着下班的话，觉得这个时间还挺久的，但是对于比赛来说，就是在瞬息万变之间。让我们等这些精英运动员一个一个陆续的入场。如果只是看你们站的位置的话，我还真的很难区分到底哪些是精英运动员。在这边的来宾看着身姿也非常的卓越。 Yo, DJ, get ready the music for GTWS 啊，可以把我们的黄金连色的音乐准备起来了。Yo, yeah. I'm excited too. I'm excited too. 我也很紧张，很激动，好像我要跑这个比赛一样。Welcome the world. Welcome for watching the show, watching the race in China. We're about to start GTWS China stop here in Jinshanling, here in China. We're about to ask the athletes to climb up the Great Wall, downhill, up, down, again, and again. I hope you enjoy the race later.
But it's the audio? It's working now? Okay, team, once again, this is going to be a little bit of a check because, as you can see, the struggle has been real. We do have images now of, hopefully, the English channel, my bad. I just need a heads up from you in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me talk. Because we're still trying to figure this out. So thanks a lot for bearing with us all this time. Once again, if you're with us now, you haven't missed anything. Tony here, the speaker, will bring in our top 10 women across the line for this Jinshanling Great Wall Trail Run, and which is the second stage of the Golden World Series. But again, I would need to have your feedback in the chat just to really be sure. This is a test. Okay, so I've had the official confirmation. Thank you all, team. I'm pretty sure this is going to blow up in the chat that you can now hear me. Fantastic. There we go. Here are the comments. Thank you so much, team. And there we go. We do have now the top 10 elite athletes who are being called across the line. And here on your images is the all-time favorite, Yao Miao, on her way to actually the athletes presentation. Everybody's there. We can see Sarah Alonso waiting. So thank you so much for bearing with us. We have encountered a bit of trouble, but it looks like we are back in business right on time for the start of this 24 kilometers with 1,889 meters of elevation gain and loss. This is important to repeat that because on the website, in different places, there was a bit of discrepancy. We have been around the race venue this whole week with all the Golden Trail World Series athletes, and we have had the opportunity to go out on the course, check it out. And the official elevation gain and loss, because this is a loop course, is 1,889 meters of gain and loss. So it is far more than what was originally announced, the 1,500 meters that was announced. So that's going to be a tough one. So there we go, team. This is a new phase, but I believe you will very soon know and know her name as well. Caroline Kimutai. She's coming with the Milimani Runners, sponsored by Salomon. There she is. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is her first trail race outside of Kenya. They traveled late because they were actually missing a vaccine. So this is another element that is important to take into account, is that they had to go through a vaccination process. I don't know exactly which one, like 3 days ago. Here we go, French representative of the trail running scene, Marie Nivet, fresh off competing a lot in mountain running. She won the Nice 20K by UTMB last year. And yeah, she go down. Next in line, and she's a local. Look at her. She is absolutely always smiling. She's also representing Team Salomon, Tang Jingyang. And we can expect potentially her to actually crack into the top 10. She was 6 at CCC last year.
She's from France, 来自法国. She was the winner of 2024 Nice Côte d'Azur by UTMB Nice 20K, and she was the third of 2024 vertical race on sea of Oceania. Let's make some noise for Marie-Nivet. Marie-Nivet. All right, the next one, she's from Salomon team.
Okay, sorry, there's a bit of a faffing around again. Here we go. She is now in the zone. The shades are on, but she said she was feeling extremely relaxed and ready to throw down. Ladies and gentlemen, coming from Spain, Malenosa representing a Team Salomon. She had a pretty good race last weekend in Kobe for the opening race of the Golden Trail World Series 2025. And she is definitely ready. Next one, also from Spain, Sarah Alonso representing Team Asics. She did nothing but take the big W last weekend in Kobe. She won ahead of all these athletes. She is in extremely good form. She had excellent winter training. And as her result last weekend showed, she is ready. Madalena Florea from Romania representing Team Scott is also in the house and could do some damage. She has the speed in the legs and she is comfortable on technical. So definitely one of the contenders as well that we can expect to do really well. And it's good to see. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat to interact with you all. If you have anything to say, keep bringing the cheering comments. This is what we like to see. Here you go. Last year's winner overall of the Golden Trail World Series, Joyce Enjiru, who just signed with Team Normal. She got lost. She went the wrong way last weekend in Kobe. And so she finished a little bit further back because she quite didn't have the heart to keep fighting for it. But she does seem like she is in good shape. Another runner, ladies and gentlemen, from the Team Millimani runner, sponsored by Salomon. She won the final and Sierzinal last year. I think she's ready to throw down, although she's not in top form from what I've heard. But here is Jolene Chepkeno. And so it's good because last year she was a bit isolated. The only woman in the Team Millimani runner now, Caroline Kimutai, who we saw earlier with a big game face on, is going to be by her side. And there she is, once again, the one that everybody is waiting to see. And she does have a little bit of a pressure on her shoulder because all these runners will run on Chinese landmark, the Great Wall of China. And here is Yao Miao, the 2018 CCC winner, 2024 OCC winner, multiple podiums on the Golden Trail World Series. And there she is, ready to send it in front of her home crowd. And yeah, yesterday at the athletes presentation, and she had a lot of people cheering for her.
Now we have all the women elites at the starting finish line. I'd like to know if they are getting ready. Ladies, if you're ready.
All right, we are, by the look at my watch, 2 minutes away from the start. And once again, if you're wondering, hey, why are there so few women on the line? It is just because this is just the elite specific start. All the other runners in the open category for these 24 kilometers started earlier this morning. So it is elite only for this start, and it's going to be the same actually for the men's race that will start 20 minutes later than the women's, so we can very clearly separate both races and expect finishes around the same time. So once again, I don't think we had the opportunity to see it on screen, but the course is 24 kilometers, 1,889 meters of elevation gain and loss. They will go out on the road and then up a hill to the high point, and from there they're going to do a loop and back to the high point. And they're going to be, that high point is 2 kilometers from the start and from the finish. And then, so on that 2 kilometers, they're going to be doing an out and back. And it is brutal. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can expect that until kilometer 17, which is that very last section on trails, a lot can still happen. Meaning that we do have a checkpoint. Hopefully that's going to work. This is also going to be a bit of a question mark here. But if we have the split times at kilometer 17, this is nowhere guaranteed that it's going to be the same on the finish line. And yeah, we only called the top 10, but we do have more women runners. And there we go. Countdown is on, ladies and gentlemen.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there we go. It is on for the second race of the Golden Trail World Series, the Jinshanling Great Wall Trail Run. And we are in for hell of a race. And look at this. Yao Miao makes a statement here, coming out of the gate hot. But look at her. We knew she was going to be possibly the biggest contender here in the race. Newcomer on the scene, Caroline Kimutai. She is just behind her. Just also to give an idea, to jump back a little bit on the course description. The first section is road plus trail and is 5.9 kilometers. Then, on that section, they're going to be climbing 600 meters, 8 and 8, and descending 324 meters. So this is like a definitely a net uphill. Then the Great Wall section, which is quote-unquote 4.6 kilometers with plus 422 meters and minus 603 meters. Even though it is only 4.6 kilometers, it will feel like much more. It is brutal. You'll see the images will speak for themselves. The steps are extremely tough to handle, as much in the downhill than in the uphill. And the last section, back on trails, rolling, but also it's pretty dry out there. You'll see. So the ground is actually quite slippery with a bit of granite sand, and it's 13.5 kilometers with 800 meters, 859 meters of gain, and 962 meters of descent. So there we go. We are still on that road section. So remember this section because this is going to be also the finish. The first 2 kilometers are the last 2 kilometers back to the same arch that is the start and finishing area. Once again, Yao Miao seems to have wheels on the road, and right on her heels is Join Shimgeno from Team Mini Runner Salomon. Right behind, I believe I can spot, that's a bit far now, but I think this is Joylin? Yeah, Joylin, Madalena, well, pretty much all the usual suspects. Madalena is closing, I think, yeah, she's closing the lead group together with Joyce. There we go. It's a hard right-hand turn. Sarah is there in that group as well. And there's one more runner that I do not know of. And this is it. You can see they're going to go through on the right-hand side, through the flags, up, and then I tell you that much, the pace is going to slow down dramatically. Yeah, there we go, between these two flags, and up and start on the trails. And this is the first climb, and boy, it is steep as. So there we go. And again, the people, the resources put together to cover this race live is absolutely insane. We have over 10 camera runners across the course. 2 people on e-mountain bikes, 6 drone pilots. So fingers crossed, we're going to have absolutely amazing race coverage of both men's and women's race. And so I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they break into a bit of a power hike up the hill, because it's going to get steeper and steeper. Right now, Yao Miao is still making a statement, but these are early times for the race, and we saw it. The first part, I mean, everything is difficult. And during the press conference, what was said repeatedly is that most of these athletes are used to trail races that have one big climb, one big descent, or possibly a couple of these. So you're going to climbing mode for a while, you go in descending mode for a while. But here, it's just a constant roller coaster. and there's no time to chill. And so if you go too hard, you need to basically the agreement was that you do need to be fresh for the Great Wall section, which will require a tremendous of mental focus and attention to avoid hitting the deck, because that is going to hurt if they do. But then coming off the Great Wall, if they've spent too much energy there, that last section, which I told you is pretty long, it's still like 13.5 kilometers and almost an equal amount of climb and descent. There we go. We do branch onto the Great Wall of China. Here is the course, so probably we lost reception here with the female leader, but that's fine. We're going to get them very soon after that. Like I said, there we go. We transition back onto the woman, and here is Sarah Alonso. Ahead is Madalena Florea, Joyce and Giroux, who's kind of closed the gap a little bit on Joylin and Caroline, and still leading a local favorite, Yao Miao. Is going to keep climbing, team, so they are not yet done with that first climb, and then it's going to be undulating. There's going to be a succession of 4 up and downs before they start branching into that first part of the loop, and they're going to be at that point 2 kilometers in. I don't know if you can, but we can hear definitely our cam runner breathing hard. These ladies are going all out right from the beginning, which, well, it's going to be interesting to see if this is a bit hot of a pace. Here's Marie Nivet following Rachel Tomoychik, also here on her way up, still running up. Let's see, Takako from Japan, Malenosa right there, taking her time. I think this is a smart move. This is a good position to be in at this very moment.
加油加油！中国选手加油！ 这个跑最多了。
There we go. We transition with another cam runner, and we're back with the race leaders. I think it's going to be very hard for them to pass each other. This is very narrow single track with heaps of trees, as you can see. But I think there's no need to try and pass at this point. They are all together. All you need is to stick with that lead group, and that's going to be fine. That's going to be good enough at that very moment. Again, I really believe that going out too hard early, you're going to have to pay the price later on. So we'll see if any of these ladies is overreaching. And so here on the right-hand side is a chasing woman from Team Kailas, Cheong Bin Bin. And she won earlier this year one of the Gold Trail National Series in China. So in the chasing group now, Rachel is passing Marie-Nivet also. And they're finding their pace on the right-hand side of your screen ahead of Jiang Binbin. And it's good to see familiar names in the chat. A Station Fireball, welcome home. And this is home for you, Liam. And again, we're telling you, it was a bit of a glitch, but we're telling you we have heaps of resources. So we are with, on the left-hand side, the leaders, again, going from front to back, if things have not changed, is Yao Miao from China, representing Team Salomon, who was definitely opening. Yes, I can see. Then the new runner from Team Millimani Runner Salomon, Caroline Kimutai, who we have been told is even stronger than Jolene Chepgeno. Jolene, who is now sitting in third. Fourth is last year's overall winner of the Golden Trail World Series, Joyce Njiru, followed by Madalena Florea. And finally, last week winner in Kobe, Sarah Alonso. And I think Madalena and Sarah are really, really good there, just staying behind, following the pace, not getting dropped, but not pushing too hard. On the right-hand side, as we have changed now the split screen, Rachel Tomoychik is actually trying to close the gap, and she's together with Marie-Nivet from France. Both of these runners are now chasing. We are now announcing our top 10 men athletes. So we are 9 minutes before the start. We're jumping from one to the other. So there we go. Let's start with Japanese runner Ryonusuke Omi. A Japanese runner who has been racing a lot in Europe, over 20 races in Europe to gain experience. He knew he needed to do that to get to the very top of the international field. There he is. We had earlier, I think we missed him, representing Team Nike. It was Cesare Maestri. Bogdan Damian from Romania, representing Team Datacor Running. He had the race of his life last weekend in Kobe, finishing third, only 3 small seconds behind Philemon Obongo. So if he's in the same shape, we can expect him to do extremely well, because he was the fastest runner out there on the technical descents, and it will require skills to run on this Great Wall. Timothy Kibet for Team Minimally Runner Salomon. He's all smiles. No, I think they called Ezekiel first. Ezekiel also from Kenya, also from Team Minimally Runner Salomon. All smiles. Also one of the top contenders here.
Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. He's from Team
He's tried his luck at longer distances, and by long I mean just 50K. Sorry, air quote, just 50K. And but that didn't quite work for him, so he shines on the 20K distance, so he should do extremely well. Timothy Kibet, also all smiles from Team Millimani Runners, and he did really well last year at the final. He was 4th place in the final, but he wasn't ranked in the overall because he didn't do enough races. There we go, Daniel Pattis from Italy, representing Team Brooks. Extremely strong. He's like Mr. Consistent regardless of the situation. Last weekend in Kobe, he didn't have the race he was hoping because he was sick, and nonetheless, he still managed to sneak into the top 10. If he's feeling better, watch out. Meanwhile, just a quick glimpse on the women's race. Yao Miao is still leading the pace. and all the other female are still on that group. Nobody has gotten dropped, which could mean that Yamia is setting a pace that is still manageable for all these other ladies, and she's gonna have to be careful. It's gonna have to be a strategic race here to take the win. On the left-hand side, Joey Hadorn from Switzerland, Team Salomon International, waving at the crowds. He was 4th last weekend in Kobe, and coming from the orienteering world, the technical terrain will be playing to his advantage. And you see also very smart. He's got a wet towel on his shoulder, and so has Frenchman Sylvain Cachard. Last year, European champion in mountain running. He is an absolute machine when he's fit. But last weekend in Kobe, he suffered from the heat so bad that he actually had to drop out. So we are all hoping that he will be able to manage the heat, keep himself cool, because on a good day, Sylvain can do extremely well.
He was the winner of 2024 Le Ski Kun 20 kilometer， 也是2024年 Le Ski Kun 20公里组的冠军。
Oh, look at him. He wasn't sure he was going to be at the start. Philemon Kiriago from Team On Together. His back is still hurting, and he knows that, especially in the descents and running down the steps on the Great Wall, is going to be a challenge. So he wasn't sure that he was going to start the race or not. I am delighted to see him at the start, but look at him. He is in the zone. He's trying to keep himself together and motivated. Hopefully things will go well for him. On the right-hand side, you see the women have gone through that ridge. This was the 2K mark point, and that is the out and back. So from that point, they are onto the loop, and that was the high point, and that was where we will see them later branch back into, and from that point on is going to be what they've had just done, but in reverse for the last 2 kilometers of the race. Ladies and gentlemen, last year's Golden Trail World Series winner, Patrick Kimeno. He is in good shape. He's ready to go. He won in Kobe last weekend, and we can't wait to see him do well. And it's been amazing to see him the past few years develop as an athlete, both from a physical perspective but also from a mental perspective. He is there. He's one of the characters of this Golden Trail World Series, and everybody knows his name, his face, and knows that on a good day, he's extremely hard to beat.
Now we have all the top 10 elites presented here at the starting line with all the other elites. 目前呢，我们10位。
So another 3 minutes before the men's start, and in the meantime, still all the top 6 women are together on that ridge. And it will be good to see if we can get any split. There are a few mats on the course, but to be honest, I am not sure if they're actually gonna work or not. So if we have this, bonus, and if we don't, that'll be all right. And in the top 10 men, there are other names that we didn't call in the top 10, but that should be possibly crossing the finish line in the top 10. Thinking of Théo Bourgeois from France, representing Team Brooks. We've got, there we go, here with the red cap from Salomon. Fabian Benero from Spain, a young athlete who's joined the Team Salomon International. And look at that, on the right-hand side, those beautiful images of the top 6 women out on the course. Look at Sarah, she's got the perfect attitude. Shoulders down, arm low, relaxing as she's moving down Oh man, we are in for a hell of a battle. I think they are in the perfect position. We have the top 3 over there. I'm gonna give them nickname like Yao Miao is the aggressive one. She wants anything. No, she doesn't want anything less but the win. The young blood coming into the scene with an intention. Caroline Kimutai and Johnny Cepiano wants to also prove that her 2 wins last year were not accidents. And then behind, we've got experience. Joyce Njeru, she's been in the circuit. She's won the Golden Trail Series last year. Madalena Florea, also extremely strong and has a lot of experience. And now Sarah Alonso back in the circuit, healthy and stronger than ever, which are her words from the press conference. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the countdown to send off the men is on. And bang on 2:20, these gentlemen have started, and it looks like we've got one Chinese runner who's decided to sprint out of the gate. I do not have his name amongst the favorite Chinese runners, so this might be a little bit of a push, an early push to, you know, say hi to the cameras. But things will truly get real when they hit the trail, as we saw with the women's. And again, if you weren't with us right at the beginning, the field is very small because these are exclusively the elite races. The open races took place this morning on exactly the same course, but the organization allocated specific racing times for the elite field. And wow, if this is the real name, Yunut Zinka, I remember your name from way back in the days. And indeed, Jean Margarit is a camera runner here, and he will cover the women's race going up to the Great Wall, and then he will do the whole Great Wall section with the men. And then I'm looking at the chat again, seeing what you guys are saying. See if I can. There's predictions here. Luis, Patrick, Kibet, Joey for the possible top 3. We shall see. So again, they're starting to form a bit of a group here. But like I said, this road section is just to stretch out the legs to get ready. And then once they're going to start climbing, things are going to get real. So from what I've been told, Timothy Kibet has had a very good build-up leading to the race, possibly could go for the win. Ezekiel Ruto is still had a bit of a Achilles issue recently, so a bit of a question mark whether that's going to hold it together or not. And Samuel Kiprotich is very talented, very focused on training. He's always there, always progressing. That's going to be, maybe it's not going to be enough of experience for him early on, but we shall see. We shall see. Again, the Team Millimani runners have come in full force here in China in this fantastic race of the Jinshanling Great Wall. And you'll see right now, these images are fantastic, and we obviously follow both races, but you'll see the images on the Great Wall of China are absolutely out of this world, stunning. So there we go. You can see here on the left-hand side of your screen the men's race, and it's already Patrick starting to creep up on that lead runner. Patrick Kimeno is 2023 world champion in the vertical back in Innsbruck, and he's Definitely one of the strongest runners uphill still to date, which is going to make it tough for our cam runners. So here's another runner with a bigger camera, I guess, to take a bit of content for the video recap. And there we go. Patrick is now closing the gap and possibly will close, but there you go. There's a big line of runners right behind. And in the meantime, I was telling you, in the women's, Yao Miao is still setting the pace, but none of the runners have chosen to try and pass. They are keeping it together. They're not pushing it. They are all staying there, which means that this is a pace so I'm being told it wasn't Patrick, it's Philemon. So that makes sense, because he said that basically because his back was hurting so bad, he was going to give everything he could in the uphill. And that's exactly what he's doing, Philemon Kiriago. And it's good to see him at the start, because I was really worried that he may not be there. Here we go. Italian runners, Cesare Maestri, Ezequiel Ruto, followed by another runner here from Team China, and obviously representing Team Kailas. This might be Yang Zhengjiang or Cao Hu. I'm not too sure. Here, Joey Hadorn, the Swiss runner from Team Salomon. Sorry, I'm trying to look a little bit too many things at once. Yeah, just a little bit of a clarification. Somebody says in the chat that the race is 24K and 1800. It is 1889 meters of climb, so almost 1900 meters of climb once all the steps are accounted for on the Great Wall of China. So there we go. This is one of the many tricky descents. And look at Sarah Alonso slip and slide. This is on the edge here. There we go. Madalena Florea is on the ground, but she's back on. No consequences for this, but it shows how technical this course is. And the thing is, it makes it harder when you're so close to one another, because if the runner in front of you is braking more than you would want, you have to brake and you end up on your heels and possibly on your bum. So something to keep in mind. We all realized that when the runners went out on the course to recce it, and as soon as somebody was braking a bit too much, man, that was chaos right behind. So here's the Spanish runner for Team Salomon on the left-hand side, Fabian Benero, who's still in touch. There you go. We just saw past Ryo Nusuke, Omi from Japan. I've been looking left, right, and center. I don't think I must have missed Bogdan Damian. I believe he is in the mix as well. And so, yeah, like I was telling you, nobody is trying to pass or move in this top 6, meaning that, at least that is my assumption, and I could be wrong, but that Caroline Kimutai and Jordan Chemgeno are just sitting there in full control, not going outside of their comfort zone just yet, and waiting for their time to push it. So there we go. They're out of that first trail section. They are on the road. This is going to be downhill for about a K, if that. Actually, probably less than that. And they're going to get to the first aid station. And at this point, they're going to be 4.5 kilometers into the race. Aid station, they're going to be able to grab a flask, gels, whatever they had dropped there. And then it's going to be a very long and hard climb. All steps with a bit of a down, about 2/3 of the climb in, and then back up all the way up to the Great Wall. And then it's going to be the 4.6 kilometer on the Great Wall. That is for sure going to be a challenge for all of them. Here we go. Here is Patrick Kimeno. I am surprised to see him there. in the chase group. I'm not too sure how far back he is. But one sure thing is Philemon has blown out the field at that point. Maybe this is a team effort, and he's trying to get some runners to follow him and get over the red zone, over the red line too early, and which would then play to Patrick's advantage later in the day. Here, Yao Miao, look at her. She is finishing her flask. She knows the aid station is right there, so she's drinking everything she has with her, and then she's going to drop that and take a new one as soon as they get to that section. This is still downhill. They're going to have a left-hand turn, go across the road, and that's going to be the entrance of I guess we call it the Great Wall area, and that's going to be where they're going to go through that building first. And then up the steps. There you go. Sarah Alonso is making a move on that downhill. She has strong legs, so she's right. I think she's done waiting for as long as this was a single track. They were all following Yao Miao's pace, but there you go. Sarah has made a move. She has the confidence from her win last weekend that she could do something great today. And look at her again. Caroline Kimutai is just not slowing down or shying away. She's just sitting there and still looking comfortable. There we go. A few steps. They're getting the flasks in onto. And look at this. This is Formula One transition. They're getting the flask. Boom. Hand it over to them through the building, and they will start that climb. On the left-hand side, the lead has changed as we're looking at the women's race. And it is Ezekiel, if I'm not mistaken, who's absolutely motoring from Team Minimally Runner. And I think even our cam runner is getting dropped. There we go. Philemon is right behind. And he won't want to let him go. And for as long as they're going uphill, I think Philemon has everything in store to hold him off and not let that gap get too wide. However, on the downhill, this is going to be a question mark because he had said that he was suffering from his back. He said he had fallen in training and he hasn't quite recovered yet. With the green short, it is still Cesare Maestri in third place, looking extremely good, and there is quite a bit of a gap already behind him, so this is a good sign. Cesare in good form, chose to skip Kobe to come to China in full form and fresh. And this is not Sylvain Cachard. Sylvain Cachard is representing Team Hoka, and he would probably be a little bit further back. Here's Patrick Jimeno in fourth place. And there we go. I think this is the section. Not quite yet. So they haven't done 2Ks yet, which shows, see, almost 13 minutes elapsed. Ezekiel has gone through. We can see at the back. I'll see if I can get the splits accurately here, if that makes any sense. Yes, it works, ladies and gentlemen. So in 12:38 and then 12:45 was Philemon. So really not too far back. And another 15 seconds back in 13 flat was Cesare Maestri. Patrick Jimeno, 13:07. And then so far only 4 runners have gone through. We have a bit of a glitch on Caroline Kimutai, but could that mean that she has taken the lead on that climb to the Great Wall? And she would then be in first place here. Beautiful drone shot. So in ahead with the backpack is one of our cam runner. And Ezekiel Ruto from Team Milimani Runner Salomon is in the lead. And giving our camera runner a run for his money. And he's passing. There we go. On the women's, Caroline is there. And she's together with Joeline. So would that mean that nobody else has been able to follow both of these Milimani runners, athletes, on the way up to the Great Wall? And they're starting to open up a gap. Could this already be the move? We hope not, because we still want the show to be on for a wee while. But I can't catch a glimpse of anyone just back. Team, let us know if you see anyone. So there we go, drone shot of the rest of the men's field with still world-class athletes, but the pace has been so hot early on that they are now a little further back. Let's see what we can find here in the rankings for you all. So we had in fourth Patrick Kimeno, then Joey Hadorn, Samuel Kiprotich, Timothy Kibet, Daniel Pattis in 8th, Dylan Ribeiro, really good, in 9th, Yang Jiangjiang from China, and then Bogdan Damian in 11th, Sylvain Cachard 12th, Théo Bourgeois 13, Fabien Benero is 14, Pierre Bourdin 15, Aitor Branco 16, Yuho Nisaki 17, Ryo Nosuke Omi 18, ouch, maybe something is tough. Chi Chao Hai, Hu Tsao, Andreas Krajevik, and then we're down to past the top 30. I'll give you a little bit of an update on the women's. I think this is going to be, at the 8th station. So Caroline Kimutai in the lead. We had seen that. We had images of that actually. Sarah Alonso probably now sitting in 3rd place on the way up to the Great Wall. Jolene Chepdeno was in 2nd place. Madalena Florea, Yao Miao in 5th. Joyce Angelo in 6th, Rachel Tomacek. Whoa, Rachel moved back in 7th, Marinive in 8th, Takako Takamura from Japan in 9th, Courtney Koppinger in 10th, Marinosa 11th, and then Lingji Chi from China is in 12th, Alice Minetti 13th, and that's about it. I'm back on the images, and Ezekiel Ruto is absolutely motoring. He's taking advantage of that trail that is pretty damn smooth to move at a pace that probably not many humans can sustain even on the flat. But this undulating course does not seem to bother him, and he barely slows down. Look at him. Look at the power in his legs. I can tell you that much, that none of these climbs are gentle. And so I don't know how accurate that pace is, or if it's an average. But that first section, well, we'll see later, because the first section is up until the Great Wall, and is 5.9 kilometers, 608 meters of climb, and 324 meters of descent. So that's probably at the 8th station. There we go. We have our top 5. Philemon Kiriagos, Cesare Mastri doing super well. Patrick Kimeno just 7 seconds back. And 11 seconds back, Joey Hadorn. This is all in a nutshell for the top 5. And I think it goes actually further than that. And they are all still under a minute apart from each other. What a race. What a race we're going to have today. What a show. And it's awesome to have you all in the chat. Thank you all again for being there with us and following this second stage of the Golden Trail World Series here in China for the Jinshanling Great Wall Trail Run. And then, yeah, we're just going back and forth between the men's and the women's. Yes, we did have a bit of a split screen, but as much as it's good to be able to watch both, actually, it's sometimes a bit confusing because we are moving from one to the next. So there we go. We have here Joyce and Jiru, who has closed the gap. And so two very different styles. Joyce is power hiking, and so is Madalena Florea. And in front, Caroline and Joylyn are both running, but they're going barely any faster. So I think for that very section, power hiking, if you're comfortable with it and you've trained by power hiking and you're used to putting your hands on your quads, can make a difference because you will end up using a different chain of muscles going up, and then you'll be able as well to lower your heartbeat before you get on the Great Wall. That will indeed be a big challenge. Patrick Jimeno might have passed Cesare Maestri because I think the person ahead of Patrick is Philemon, unless Philemon has fallen back one spot and Cesare has moved in second place. We didn't have the images. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. These are the money shots. The drones are in the house and they are getting to the Great Wall. They're going around and into the tower and then across the tower and back on the left-hand side of your screen. And you can see in the distance all the ups and downs that this Great Wall is going to offer. And that's going to be a massive challenge for all the runners. And this is exactly what we want. It looks like it's an FPV drone as well. By the way, it's moving, so we're going to have a bit of a almost video game-like type of images. Hopefully you don't get sick, but this is pretty cool. There we go. So Caroline Kimutai from Team Millimani Runner. And look at her. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we needed to see. The way she moved down the stairs tells us that she will struggle to hold off these other runners because they are, you know, moving to the side, but already I can feel that Madalena Florea will close that gap because she's far more comfortable, and so will Sarah Alonso and also Yao Miao, who trained on that course and got very used to those steps. Look at her, how much she slows down on these steps going down. She will have the engine, she will have the power to go up. But look at her already. She's lost so much ground onto her competition. What seems, however, to be happening is that as much as Caroline is losing ground on the descent, it looks like Joylyn is still together with Joyce and Madalena, meaning that maybe Joylyn is also comfortable in the steps downhill. But again, this is just what I've been seeing from the first few seconds on the Great Wall. We'll see how that carries on. Sarah has fallen back a little bit in that climb to the Great Wall. But again, I think there is time. And she's doing exactly what she needs to do at this point. Look after herself. Keep up with her own pace. Stay hydrated. Keep fueling. This is still a long way to go. And look at those steps, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the steps. They are extremely steep. Look at how much they've slowed down. And look, Madalena is passing. She's making the move. I was telling you exactly that Madalena is comfortable on those steps. And she's going to make ground. She's going to pass Caroline. And I believe Joyce will also try to make a move on that downhill. But you see, as soon as it gets flat, Caroline can respond to Madalena. Oh, man, those images are absolutely insane. Those runners, I mean, picture this. Those runners are on the Great Wall of China running a race. This is absolutely stunning, and this is also the beauty of the Golden Trail Series, picking some of the most challenging races in some of the most beautiful places of the world. And today, China is definitely scoring high for this race. So the cam runners, this might be Fleury Roux. If you've been following quite some of the live broadcasts that we have. Oh, no, there he is. Fleury, who's came to join the team of cam runners, and will be filming on the Great Wall these top women. And you can see Madalena, look at her, she's using her hands. It is that steep to move up. And this is where Joyce is making a move while all the runners are power hiking. Ah, what a battle that is going down between now the top 4 ladies on the Great Wall. In the meantime, on the left-hand side of your screen, he is still absolutely killing it. Ezekiel Ruto from Team Mili Mani Runner Salomon. Will they see him back? Will they see him again? This is the question I'm starting to ask myself. But again, we should have part of the answer the same way that we saw Caroline get on the Great Wall and the way she was handling the downhill. If Ezekiel is comfortable on the downhill, running the steps down, sorry, I'm going to make it happen, then, well, the rest of the field is going to struggle to see him again. If, however, he is not as comfortable as the other runners running down the steps, maybe they'll see him again. But wow, look at that. He's dropped our cam runner. And now, right behind, we have Patrick, who's made the move, and he's now past Philemon. Philemon is still chasing in 3rd, but they are already some 20 seconds back. And in the women's, look at this. Every time there is a descent, Madalena Floria is faster and stronger than Caroline, but Caroline always responds as soon as they get on the flat. So these two ladies are kind of testing each other, trying to see who can have the best out of the other. So they're gauging each other, but that's going to be also a big challenge not to overdo it. Oh, amazing images here from our cam runner. Well done. I suspect this is Fleury Roux. With his experience in filming, seeing these ladies going down the steps from the front is stunning and gives us, again, a very good understanding of how challenging those steps on the Great Wall of China are. Okay, we are moving down in the rankings to see who's there, and this is Timothy Kibet and Samuel Kiprotich, who are following now. Both runner from Mili Mani. And look at the woman going down. Those steps are such a challenge. But as much as it is a challenge, you just can't overdo it. Meaning that, you know, the steepness of the steps, you cannot push the pace over a certain speed. So it's all a matter of moving well, but soft, and saving your energy, and then pushing in the ups. Because again, that section on the Great Wall is 4.6 kilometers with plus 422 and minus 603. So this is a net downhill here, ladies and gentlemen. I think in 5th place, perhaps. Yeah, that would make sense. 5th place or 6th place. 6th place might be Yao Miao, early leader of this race. And Joyce is now making the move on Madalena. Caroline has fallen back, but in the lead is Joylyn Chepgeno. Joylyn seems to be a little bit better on the overall runner, meaning that she just does not slow down as much in the descent, while Caroline, who was pushing the pace early on, seems to be struggling a little more. And when I say struggling, it's just she's not moving as fast as the other competitors. So Chi Lingji is still most likely in the top 10. Here we have probably in 6th place or 7th place. 7th place, I'm guessing, Joey Hadorn, and he would be ahead of Cesare Mastri, or we've missed Cesare going through, which means he was still in 7th place. So, you know, going from one to the next sometimes is a bit of a challenge, but we'll see how it goes when we get a full screen on the men's as they get onto the Great Wall, which should be any time now. So here's Sarah, and it looks like it's getting hot out there. She's pouring a bit of water on herself. And then we have drone shots of the rest of the field out on the hills. Here's Daniel Pattis from Italy representing Team Brooks on his way up to the Great Wall of China. Daniel Pattis, who clocked through the aid station at the bottom in 9th place. And in the women, here on your screen, the ever-smiling Tang Jingyang. Tang Jingyang, say it again, last year was 6th at CCC, so this might be a bit quick, a bit fast for her. And the battle is still on like Donkey Kong in the women's race. There are still 4 of them duking it out pretty hard. Madalena and... Oh no, now Joyce has moved back into 4th. Madalena is at the front, fighting with Jolene. Caroline is in the middle. Joyce is closing. But see, look at this. This is where you need to make very good decisions on the route you are taking, because sometimes on the outside of the steps you end up not having to go down and back up. So those make big differences, and again, this plays to the advantage of the runners who have committed to spending more time on the course earlier this week, which Madalena definitely did. And there we go. Joyce Engeru is choosing to push hard on every uphill. Madalena chose to do a bit of power hacking, changing the effort a little bit, but there we go. She's responding right away. Man, this is relentless. Are they going to be able to hold on at this suicidal pace all the way through to the finish? I don't know. Will we see a little bit of a popcorn show happening before the end of the race? This is something I think could be possible. And look at this. The downhill greatness of Joyce Engeru, who in a matter of few steps pulled away from the field. And I was telling you about, I think it is important to recognize our cam runner here. Fleury Roux from France. Absolute legend. He always goes on to do some fun projects. The latest of his was to cross France from south to north, right through the middle, and never going away. I think it was further than 5 kilometers from that line, from that straight line that crosses France from right in the center, from south to north. So he loves those kind of projects. He's committed. He's orienteering runner by trade, but also talented trail runner. And we are very lucky to have him and offer us those images. And look at this. Once again, transition with the drone shot. Sarah Alonso is right there, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't seen her on the images, but she is just there. And this is perfect, because while all these ladies are running with each other and possibly chasing each other a bit too much, or pushing the pace a bit more than they would want to, Sarah is just keeping them at sight from behind and keeping her own pace. Sarah, ladies and gentlemen, is still well within winning position. Look at her there. Oh, what a race. What a race. And we are not even halfway. And yeah, I'm taking a quick glimpse. Oh yeah, they have to slow down because this step section is so steep. You cannot come in with momentum. On the left-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. We have the men on the Great Wall of China. And if we haven't missed anyone... Nah, that can't be right. Wow. If this is accurate, ladies and gentlemen, something happened because Ezekiel Ruto was in the lead, and now we have Patrick Kimeno, who pops up first on the Great Wall of China. So could that mean that Ezekiel Ruto from the Mili runners was not comfortable in the downhill, made a mistake? I don't know. There's a big question mark here. I am confused. And look at this. You need to take the right course, and Joyce knew it, and so she went on the other side because technically the official path is through the middle and back up. But they know what to do. So, okay, so that was wrong information on the screen. And Ezekiel Ruto is still leading the men's race. And look at him go down. He doesn't look like he's too challenged by those downhill stairs, although the image was frozen, so it's hard to actually gauge what was happening. And no, I can confirm to you, as much as the race is supported by the local government and the tourism board, it would be absolutely senseless to close the Great Wall of China to the public just for the sake of the race. Oh, yeah, Yao Miao here. See, she's going down the steps and back up the steps while the other ladies had gone through that little side path. And this is a lot of time and energy you're kind of losing by doing that. So Yao Miao here sitting in sixth position. 56 minutes elapsed in that race. So. And so here Yao Miao has not given up the chase, but again, I think setting the pace early on might have been a bit of an ambitious move, and she might have burned a bit too many matches. And she's certainly paying the price right now while the other ladies are keeping up. And on the left-hand side, this is not Patrick. On the left-hand side, this is still Ezekiel Ruto from Mili Runners. On the right-hand side of your screen is Patrick Kimeno from Team Run Together on Trail. Both Kenyan runners. Ezekiel Ruto, once again, who was the winner of the 26K at Trail Verbier-Saint-Bernard in 2024. And there we go, we transition back. Oh, look at him go, look at that stride on the Great Wall of China. This drone shot is absolutely priceless. And I am unsure who is catching. Oh, he's catching the women's. All right. So we have some of the ladies that have now are getting caught by the lead men's. Once again, if you weren't with us at the start, the female started 20 minutes ahead of the men's. They're running the exact same course, and which means already the top men are catching the last woman. There we go. We're back with Caroline. Now the question is, Caroline, will she be in the lead, or would the battle will still be on? But I believe if our cam runner is with her, she might very well be in the lead. And hopefully that drone can zoom out a little on the right-hand side of your screen. There we go. We just got a glimpse of Madalena Florea from Team Scott. And she's right there. Good to see her running in full form. Ah, and Ezekiel Ruto, definitely here we have our answer. He is absolutely comfortable in the steps, and look at the gaps is even opening on our poor cam runner, who is now gonna have to run for his life to close that gap. Ladies and gentlemen, today Ezekiel Ruto is going to be very, very hard to beat. And I just noticed on the screen there's a typo. It is Ezekiel and not Ekekiel. So please bear that in mind. Just a little typo. We can definitely excuse that, because the production is offering us the race coverage of a lifetime. And it shows again with both these drone shot on left-hand side. You get your main leader, Ezekiel Ruto from Team Millimani Runner, sponsored by Salomon. And on the right-hand side, you've got the top 4 women who are absolutely crushing that Great Wall section. Madalena Florea now back in the lead again, taking advantage of her very good skills downhill. But look! Joylene is not falling back. She is able to keep up. Joylene has the skills to run downhill, as opposed to Caroline, who... Oh, no, it is Caroline. Good Lord. They are not flinching. And as much as Madalena is trying to shake them out, they are both on her heels. I can't see Joyce and Jiru to see if she is still around there. But look, they are even almost going sideways to try and go as hard as they can. Those steps are so short, so I think it's going to be even harder for the men who have big feet. And here they are going through the middle, because on the sides you do have a massive drop and there are no steps, so that was definitely the way to go. On the right hand side again, your top 3 women in that race. 1 hour elapsed, and on the left hand side we've lost it, but 41 minutes elapsed in the men's race. And Ezekiel Ruto from Team Millimani is absolutely crushing and left no chance to any of the other competitors. No, it is still forward. Madalena was a bit of a confused here, but that's all good. Maybe she was expecting an aid station or something, because she had her flask out, or maybe she was just drinking. And there, so there we go. Joyce is just there. I am glad to see it. And Joyce, she might actually try to make a push here, just like she does, and she has done earlier. As soon as the steps get steep, Joyce makes a bit of a move here. She's closing the gap. This is so hard. At that point, the quads are absolutely burning, and yet, the race is nowhere near done. There you go, chasing hard, Patrick Kimeno. And we don't have the ambient sound. I don't know if you hear it back home, but it's awesome to see all the spectators come here to cheer on all the runners on this Great Wall of China. What a sight, what a race, what a show. What a show. And just got the information here, looking at all the rankings. Yao Miao is now 2 minutes 34 seconds back from the female leader at kilometer 9. So she has fallen back significantly, while Patrick Kimeno is still pushing the pace, hoping to close the gap on our men's leader from Team Millimani Runner, Ezekiel Ruto. And RJ, absolutely, I will second that. You said it, bro. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. We were hoping for a bit of a battle, but man, this is beyond what we could have expected. We knew that course would be brutal. And see our cam runner, he's almost 170 BPM. That's gonna hurt. And then to round up the top 10 at kilometer 9, Rachel, in the women's, Rachel Tomoichik is 5 minute 25 back. Takako Takamura in 8th, 5 minute 45 back. Marie Nivet from France, 9th, 5 minute 52. And Courtney 10th in 6:20 back from the lead. All right, so we have our cam runner and following Patrick Kimeno in second place. And this is Jeanne Margaret, who we were talking about earlier in the chat. Yonut, you were talking about Jeanne. Right now, following Patrick Kimeno is Jeanne Margaret on the right-hand side of your screen, still the women's leader. It is still a pack of 4 going back and forth. Madalena Florea here on your screen. Right behind is Caroline Kimutai, the newcomer onto the Golden Trail Series, but on paper has already beat Joylene Chepgeno. Joylene, who won both Sierre-Zinal and the final of the Golden Trail Series last year. And last but not least, your 2024 Golden Trail Series champion, Joyce Njiru. You have, as we say in French, la crème de la crème of the female runners in the sub-marathon distance on trail, and they are here fighting for what's going to be one of the most prestigious wins on the series. And in the meantime, we're still following Patrick Kimeno from Team Run Together on trail. Going hard as he can to try and close the gap with Ezekiel, but I was trying to look on the images, but I can't catch a glimpse of Ezekiel. It's hard to tell. We're going to wait a little bit until we see another split time, and hopefully that will give us an idea. So here on screen, that just froze. Ah, there he is, our Frenchman. And if he's here on camera, it means that he's doing pretty well. Oh, am I right? I'm confused now. I thought it was Sylvain Cachard, but I might be very, very wrong. So give me a minute to try and check that out. Now, this might be Dylan. We're going to have to see if anybody on the chat recognized that runner with the red jersey. Let us know. And look at that. Here, they're choosing the best possible path. Again, you don't want to waste any more energy than you have to on those steps. And Patrick is chasing hard. Did I see another runner in front? No way. Is that Joey? Oh. Oh, I'm gonna have to wait here because something might have happened. I can't tell who is right in front of Patrick. Oh no, this is the chase group, so this is Philemon. So I think I was right. So Joey Hadorn from Switzerland, I believe, is just ahead of Philemon Kiriago. And then chasing right behind 2 runners from Mini Mani Runners, Timothy Kibet and Samuel Kiprotich. Here you go, Timothy here on the screen. That froze. No, Joey Hadorn, no. With those shoes, it is Patrick Kimeno. So he's fallen back, and now Joey Hadorn has made the move, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! The men's race is on. So now who's looking back? Is that another runner? Confusion is high, ladies and gentlemen. It is really, really high. Okay, so that is a runner who's getting caught up. I believe this is Joey Hadorn here in second place, who has moved ahead of Patrick Kimeno. This is 100% guaranteed Patrick Kimeno because that's the shoes he was wearing, and Philemon was wearing white shoes. I made the mistake of confusing both of them one time, and then I figured out a way to distinguish them from one another. And then I believe is Timothy, who's creeping up on Patrick as well. Joey Hadorn, look at him, flying down those steps like a demon. I was telling you that his background, and actually he's still an orienteering runner, but his skills in orienteering, we're going to play to his strength. And look at the gap he's making on the rest of the field. This is where this man needs to play his cards, and he's exactly doing that. Fantastic strategy by the Swiss runner from the Team Salomon International, Joey Hadorn, absolutely crushing it. And once again, kudos to the production with those drone shots that are absolutely stunning. On the right-hand side, let's have a look at what's happening in the women's race with Caroline Kimutai, who's now again back in the lead the minute we're back on trail. So that Great Wall section for the women's is over, done and dusted. And they are now onto that last section, which is 13.5 kilometers with 859 meters of climbing, 962 meters of descending to make it back to the start and finishing area. Meanwhile, you can see this is how far back Yao Miao is. She is still on the Great Wall. She's actually exiting right now. At this point, I don't think this is Ting Yang. I think that was Yao Miao here. She was just exiting while you can see now Caroline long gone, long past that point on the trails. And on the rolling trails, it looks like she's once again opened the gap on the chasing group with Madalena Florea, Jordan Chempgeno, and Joyce Njeru. And they're on the left-hand side, so it is still our main leader, and I believe Julien, who's the team manager of the Minimal Runner, must be absolutely stoked. He knew that Ezekiel Ruto could take the win today. He had announced it, and Julien is very rarely wrong. He's one of the men who's opening the doors to trail runners, to Kenyans, giving them a chance to show that they are not only very strong on the roads, but they can handle technical as well. And so I was also told that Sarah Alonso, that we saw briefly on the images coming out of the Great Wall, was only 20 seconds back from the top 4, meaning that she is still in the game for top position. Here again we have Caroline. I couldn't quite see who is in second, but again, the pack as they got out. Oh, and the cam runner is now going 174, 175 beat per minute. I hope he doesn't have too big of a section to do, but again, the organization and the live broadcast company had planned a lot of cam runners to take relays, and there we go. I could catch a glimpse of who's chasing, and it is Joyce Njeru, last year's winner in the overall Golden Trail Series, and Madalena Florea is still there. Man, that fight is relentless. And watch out, hikers. These ladies are coming in hot. There we go, back to the men's race, and Ezekiel Ruto is still looking pretty damn smooth on those steps. He's going to be hard to beat. But again, we can expect possibly Joey Hadorn to, I don't know if he's going to be able to close that gap entirely, but he might make more time. He might make more time to close the gap and try to not be either too far from Ezekiel or at least secure his position in second place and have a bit of a safety blanket on Patrick Kimeno and Timothy Kibet and Samuel Kiprokich. I have just been told a very sad news, team, and I believe a lot of you in the chat will be very, very sad, just like I am, but Malenosa from Spain, Team Salomon, has DNF'd. I do not know why and what happened, but this is what I've been informed. Sad times, she didn't back up her very good race last weekend. And hopefully she's okay. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fall again. I was telling you, these are dangerous sections. So we have an image frozen of Yao Miao about to hit the deck. Hopefully nothing of importance, and she'll be able to dust herself off and keep running. This was a painful image to watch, and look at Ezekiel, very smart. He's again taking the right line to avoid taking too many steps. He's doing it absolutely perfect. Masterclass, ladies and gentlemen, by the runner from Milimani Runners, Ezekiel Ruto, and he looks like he's on a Sunday stroll, that he still has one more gear that he could possibly shift should Swiss runner Joey Hadorn come and start breathing down his neck. On the right-hand side of your screen, however, it looks like it's full throttle for Caroline from Team Milimani Runners. She is wanting to go. I think she might even push our camera runner. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. She's like, come on, bro. I got to go. You ain't fast enough for me. Let me go. She did it. Wow, the level of Caroline. Once again, Jinshanling had told us that she had everything to possibly take the win. I don't want to include you in that, but I had a feeling maybe seeing her go down those steps that she might be a bit challenged on the downhill, but look at her. The minute the trail is smooth again, she is absolutely flying. So we'll see how far back the rest of the ladies are. Joyce Engiru and Madalena Floria on the last time we saw a little bit further back. They were, I would say, probably 10-15 seconds back, not that much. But the way Caroline is moving at this very moment, she could be opening a gap with every step she takes. So we're waiting for another update on the split. Now we can possibly get your predictions in the chat. Will our camera runner go over 180 BPM before he blows out entirely? But we can definitely send him kudos. He's giving everything he's got and a little more to offer us those images and keep up with Caroline. The minute he will drop out of her. So this is the good news. As much as we saw her fall down that slippery descent, Yao Miao is back on her feet and moving, so in 6th position so far. So again, I was trying to see in the men's what had happened, but yes, this is it. 3rd checkpoint, so let me check. 3rd checkpoint is 11.8 kilometers into the race. Ezekiel was in 47.48, then 48.40, so that's almost a whole minute behind Joey Hadorn. Was in 2nd position, Patrick Jimeno 5 seconds back, 1 second back, Samuel Kiprotich, Timothy Kibet, another 10 seconds back, Cesare Maestri, another 40 seconds back. In 6th position, Filimeno Bongo still holding on to 7th place, so that's pretty good still for a man whose back was hurting pretty bad. In 8th place, Daniel Patis, 51.20, and Dylan Ribeiro. So that was Dylan with the red top, 52.30 in 9th place. And rounding up the top 10, Sylvain Cachard from France as well, another 21 seconds behind Dylan Ribeiro. So this is a female runner from China who's fallen back a little bit. I was actually reading the ranking. I might have missed the images of Joey Hadorn. I saw his name on the screen. You guys and girls can tell me if I have missed him or not. But yes, you spotted it. Sarah is still in the game. She's still playing for the top 5. Wow. I mean, look at that gait. Like, she's not even challenged by the terrain. She's just hugging the turns. It looks so easy, and yet, again, seeing the heart rate of our cam runner, it is everything but slow, everything but easy. And so far, 12 Ks, just over 12 Ks into the race, and you can see the course profile. The tough part has yet to come. And those downhill, ladies and gentlemen, they are brutal. So that section is quite a long douche grade uphill, which, you know, looks pretty steep on the profile, but actually is not. And there we go. Our main leader is now done with the Great Wall section. Once again, he's going to have just under 13.5 kilometers, 859 meters of gain, 962 meters of descent. And it's a tough day in the office for a camera runner, both with the men's and the women's, although I just spotted a tire. So here we have Jan, our camera mountain biker. He's on an e-bike. They've been out on the course, and I mean, as you can see, the course is extremely challenging, but these guys are world-class at mountain biking, and look at this. They are able to offer us those images and keeping up with the runners while they are mountain biking through those switchbacks. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, currently second place from Team Salomon International, Joey Hadorn. And he looks like he's together with another runner. I'm confused. Nah, that's going to be... Yeah, there we go. This is a pass. So that is probably a female runner. Ah, this is Takako Takamura. Yes, the Japanese runner who started in the women's race. So she has now been passed. And Joey is moving hard, and I wouldn't say there's more than a minute between Joey and Ezekiel. So we'll see how things evolve for the Swiss runner, and if somehow the other runners chasing hard, including Patrick, Timothy, and Samuel, can eventually close the gap on both these gentlemen. And I love your comments. Sarah is still in the game. Sarah is the game. I would agree with that. Especially fresh off her win in Kobe. Sarah, if hopefully is looking after herself. Here's Yao Miao at the aid station here before entering into what I was telling you, the start of that climb, which is kind of a douche grade climb that you have to run every single step, otherwise you lose a lot of time. But this is still challenging, especially after running so hard on the trail. Here, ladies and gentlemen, coming from France is Marie Nivet. So I don't know how far back she is. Okay, so she's further back in the women's race, and she would have been passed by Ezekiel Ruto. So there we go. Already there's such a difference between these two runners going. Now, I mean, as I was telling you, it looks almost flat, but I can guarantee you it is not. And Yao Miao, at the beginning of that climb, in 6th position, last checkpoint, she was already minutes back. Let's see, at the last checkpoint, at the Westgate of the Great Wall. 1 hour 17:50 elapsed for Caroline Kimutai, and Yao Miao had not yet gone through. So let me refresh that, because she would have, according to the images, gone through. Yes, 1:22. So she is just under 5 minutes back from the lead, Caroline Kimutai, Yao Miao. And so, Sarah, once again, I mean, you all have the splits by now. Just 50 seconds back from Joyce and Jiru. And yeah, within a minute and a half from second place. So, as you said, Sarah is in the game. Sarah is the game. And we love you all for being there. You also are cheering for Madalena Floria, and you're damn right, because she has still a lot of cards to play on that course. And the fact that she's still ahead of Joyce and Jiru is a very, very good sign. But yes, not that it is a surprise, because we had gathered the information from the team manager, from the Millimani runners, Salomon, Julien Lyon, and he had told us, guys, watch out. Caroline has competed already against Jordan Chepgeno, and she was stronger than her at a race in Kenya. So the potential is there, but, you know, question mark. This is her first race outside of Kenya, so sometimes the travel, being in a different country, that can take a toll on her. Well, not at all. And there you go, the official splits at CP1. And I'm just getting the update that the difference between Ezekiel and Joey in second place is down to 40 seconds. Here we've got third, fourth, and fifth. The Millimani runners have passed Patrick Kimeno, but Patrick Kimeno is holding on. So we have, I believe, in this order, Timothy Kibet, Samuel Kiprotich, and Patrick Kimeno chasing hard, while Ezekiel Ruto is still in the lead. And Joey Hadorn, as I was just telling you, 40 seconds back. And once again, kudos to our cam runners, because following Ezekiel on that section would be extremely hard. But they are somehow managing to handle it. As you were saying in the chat, now you're familiar with who those cam runners are. And they are indeed all professional athletes themselves, because that is what it takes when you know they're carrying over 3 kgs backpack. They have to aim with the camera, look at the ground, look and then keep up with those runners. This is insane. So I believe we are with the. Oh yeah. Wow, that's a hard downhill. But Caroline Kimutai is, wow, still moving really, really well and chasing that cam runner. I believe there has been a relay, so it's a different cam runner who's now with our women's leader, Caroline Kimutai from Millimani Runners. Actually, 2 Millimani Runners here on your screen. First and second. Oh no, that's what I thought. That's why I was confused. I had a bit of a hesitation here. In second place, it is also Millimani Runners, but it is Jordan Chepgeno. I don't know how well you see at home, but there's a bit of a pixel here on our screen. So Joylene Chempiano is pushing the pace, and according to what we saw on the screen, she is in second place. So it's a full house for Team Illimani runner, first and second so far in the women's race, and first, third, and fourth. Sorry, it took me a while to do the math here. In the men's, Joey Hadorn is crashing the party for them to be full Illimani on the podium. And then Patrick Kimeno right now sitting in fifth, but right on the heels of Timothy and Samuel. And there's a few comments here in the chat. It says like the Golden Trail are made for the Kenyans runners. I don't think it is, because, you know, like the technicality of the Great Wall is not necessarily something that suits the Kenyans, and we saw that actually in the women's, they were being challenged by Madalena Florea on those sections. So yeah, now we are on a bit of a more groomed trail, and for sure, if you have wheels and legs to run extremely fast, then the difference is being made. But again, Joey Hadorn, who's everything but the traditional fast road runner, obviously he has wheels too, but he is more of a technical runner coming from the orienteering world, and look at him so far running in second place and closing actually on that technical part, because he was down to 40 seconds behind Ezequiel Ruto. We are losing sight of our lead woman here on your screen, Caroline Kimutai, and we're going to now go back, which is very cool because it will give us an idea. No, yeah, too bad. I was hoping we'd get an idea of how far back Joylene Chempiano was going to be, but I guess we won't. It's okay. The estimated winning time for this course, we were thinking about 2:20 for the men's, 2:30 for the women's, but it might go faster than that, to be honest. Oh, wait a minute. Did we miss Joylene Chempiano, or did Madalena Florea move into second place? There's something here that might have happened. Here, Joey Hadorn has been caught up by Patrick. Patrick is now leading the group of chasing guys, both Timothy and Samuel. And so on your right side of your screen, you have second, third, and fourth runner. And on the left-hand side is still Caroline leading the women's race. And you see it's different in style as well. As soon as it gets steep, Joey power hikes, while Patrick and Timothy always run every single stride, and they're actually going to be passing. There you go, that's it. Joey is holding on now in fourth place. Madalena Florea on the left side of your screen. Question mark, is she truly in second place, or have we missed Joylene Chempiano? No, there she is, marked in third place. So Joylene is in second. We just didn't have images of her. And then Madalena Florea holding on to third. And the last time I checked, Dylan Ribeiro was in 9th place. And yeah, I'm a bit like you guys. I don't know if we're gonna have camera runners falling back down to 5th. Also for the women, it would be super cool to see Sarah Alonso, see how she's doing so far. Still working well in 5th, but so far we have 1st and 3rd. Caroline Kimutai leading the race and still showing no sign of fatigue. It's good to see her drink as well, because sometimes Kenyans are just going all out but not looking after themselves. So she has trained properly. She's gotten ready for that race, for fueling, for hydrating, so she can keep going full gas. And yep, that's gonna suck for a cam runner, because she's just gonna have to keep it up. But again, very impressed. We knew how hard that course was going to be for the camera runner, and hence why we have so many out there on the course. And I hope you were with us for the images of the Great Wall of China with all these drone shots that were absolutely mind-blowing. The recap of that race is going to be out of this world. It's going to be fantastic. And yes, it would be interesting, actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to do all the math here, but Travis, you're right, Patrick, as soon as he starts climbing a little bit steeper, like he is catching everyone. Now, the question would be, and I would love to do the math, but I still don't have an AI agent helping me do all this stuff, but maybe Liam is still with us and can crush numbers to understand whether Patrick was faster on that section, on that uphill section, or if Ezekiel Ruto was still the fastest man on that climb. And look at her, Caroline Kimutai, on an extremely steep climb. She is not slowing down, and she's not breaking into a power hike. This is, however, something that, you know, they will have to learn. And earlier in the chat, somebody was talking about I'm going to get the name. Judith Wieder. And he said, like, in those steps, Judith would have been the fastest, because Judith is actually, indeed, extremely strong on those steep uphill, because she breaks into a power hike, and she's much faster than any runner trying to run. And also, like I was telling you, it also helps power hiking when it's very steep, because you change the muscle group, you like slow down your heart rate a little bit. But you know what? Caroline still is showing that she's not done yet, and she's making an absolute statement there by running every single step, because as much as it did slow her down a little bit, she was still running every step of that climb. And I tell you what, there's not many people, and I'm not even saying women, there's not many people who can actually run up. Right here, back in sight from Team Nike, Cesare Maestri is chasing, I believe, Philemon Obongo. So that would be 6th and 7th in the men's race. And we're waiting to fall back a little more to possibly still see a little bit further down the field. Let's have a bit of an update in the men's race, see where the last checkpoint was. Yeah, it was at the when they were getting out of the Great Wall. So, yeah, it's not the most up-to-date, because they have been... Oh, yeah, no, it's actually 4 minutes ago. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise in the chat, because Sarah Alonso is here on the right-hand side of your screen, moving well on that downhill. And yeah, roller skate. Caroline is a smooth operator. I would say a smooth sniper. She's just killed them from afar. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We wanted to have those images of Sarah Alonso. And it's good to see that she is not done and the chase is on. And you see what I was telling you, Sarah used to those steep climbs in the Basque Country. And so she transitioned into power hike. She will be moving probably just as fast as Caroline, but saving her legs a little bit. And hopefully by the time she gets to the top of that climb, she would have taken a bit of a breath and slow down her heart rate to push again on the downhill. Here we go. In the lead, still crushing Caroline Kimutai. And now camera runner trying his best to keep up. And there we go at the last checkpoint. Caroline Kimutai still in the lead, 54 seconds back. Joylyn Champiano, Madalena Florea, another 130 back. 332 for Sarah, who's moved in 4th. So sorry, I was wrong. But wait. Wait, if that is accurate, that means that Joyce and Jeru has disappeared from the top 5. And so far on the images, we haven't seen that. So I would take that provisory ranking with a pinch of salt. Let me see if I can get a little bit further detail. We do have people out on the course try to feed me as much information as we have. So I don't have an update here, but this could be interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because it would be literally impossible to go the wrong way on that course. So Joyce, I would not believe she would win, of course. So either something happened, but I feel like we would have seen on the images. So yeah, to be taken with the pinch of salt. So there we go. As I was telling you, Sarah is not running on fumes. She's still moving well. And we have here, coming from France, ladies and gentlemen, this is Marie Nivet. I don't know where she is exactly, but she's moving really well. We knew she was going to be playing her cards in the later stage of the race. Here's Joeline in second place. Yeah, there you go, second place. Still chasing Caroline. She passed our cam runner with ease. And it looks like Marie Nivet might very well have passed Yao Miao and be standing in 5th position. We have yet to have the confirmations. She is on the right-hand side of your screen, and on the left-hand side, Patrick Kimeno and Timothy Kibet seem to have now breaking away from Joey Hadorn and are chasing hard in hopes of catching up with the main leaders since the very start of the race. Ezekiel Ruto from the Mini Malin Runners. And I was going to say, you can see the difference in pace, but that is not fair to say that because the gentlemen on the left-hand side of your screen are going down while Mary is still going uphill. She looks focused. She said that she was going to be ready to hurt hard today. And I think this is a very smart race she's doing right now. She stayed hidden in early stages, cruised through the Great Wall section, is now making her effort in the last section on trails. And wow, I mean, I gotta say, these two gentlemen, Patrick Kimeno and Timothy Kibet, are absolutely flying on that ridge. It's unreal. I hope none of them trips because they will roll down the hill all the way to the finish in just one go. I don't know what's happening right in front. No, that's going to be another, probably a female runner from the back who will be reeled in now very soon. Wow, that is going to be a shock to the system. Patrick Kimeno and Timothy Kibet both flying up that hill. Wow, they have already caught up with Sarah Alonso. This is going to be awesome for Sarah. Ooh, no. Oh, wow. Well saved, Sarah. Please don't fall. And so now, as soon as those gentlemen will pass, I know she's aggressive and she will try to hold on. She's done it before. But as of today, they're putting pressure on her and she is giving everything she's got. But as soon as there's going to be an opening, they're going to pass. There we go. And Sarah will try to hold on, but man, they are moving at an insane pace. And there we go. So they are moving up the field. That was Sarah here in 4th place, according to the rankings. But I'm still unsure of what's happening because we still have no news from Joyce and Giroux, who was up until then in the top 5 and now doesn't appear in the rankings. On the right-hand side, it is absolutely insane what has happened. We are 1 hour, 44 minutes elapsed. And Caroline Kimutai has gone through kilometer 17. She is on the last trail section. That is the steepest part of that course. Actually, that's not true. The steepest part is coming soon, and she's still running. It's unreal. You can see the pace on the men's side, 3:20. I feel sorry for the cam runner. He's given everything he had, and he's just going to have to drop back. It's good because then we're going to be back with Sarah Alonso, and we'll be able to follow her. This, ladies and gentlemen, is, I believe, the win for Caroline Kimutai is in the bag. We had this drone shot, and nobody was in sight. Joeline Chepgeno was chasing, but she was nowhere near Caroline. Behind, again, according to the ranking, Madalena Floria was there. Sarah Alonso was in 5th. And then, yeah, very curious to see where Joyce and Giroux is. Maybe at the next checkpoint, we'll see her. And here is Joey Hadorn in 5th position and still pushing the pace. So I got an update, and Joyce is still running in 4th, which means that the information we had earlier, this is what I was telling you, team, I wasn't sure. So she just wouldn't have registered through one of the checkpoint. No big deal, no problem. That happens all the time. Here, coming from the USA, Rachel is actually doing pretty well. She's moved up the field. I don't know if she's behind Marie Nivet, maybe. In the overall, let's see if we get a bit of an update. Yeah, Marie Nivet was right behind Yao Miao. Rachel Tomachik in 7th place, another minute back. We're back with the man, Joey Hadorn, going down. He himself, in turn, is closing the gap on Sarah Alonso. And you can see, actually, on the far end, on the background of your screen, is the climb that we saw Caroline go up already. So the distance that is already between the leader, Caroline Kimutai, and Sarah is substantial. See, Kimutai, Caroline is up on that climb, and in the background, it's harder to see, but this is where Joey and Sarah are on the left-hand side of your screen. Great footage from the realization. The studios, well done. There's a bit of an aid station actually down there at that point. They're going to cross the road, and this is going to be the last time they're going to see an aid station. They're going across that field and back up, and this is kilometer 17. Okay, so confirming the update, Joeline is in 2nd, 90 seconds back from Caroline. Another 90 seconds back is Madalena, and Sarah is in 4th, yes. No, she would be in 5th, sorry, I'm getting a bit confused. Yeah, in 5th, behind Joyce. Sarah 4th, so Joyce and Giroux must have fallen back. And again, our cam runner, big shout out to the entire team of cam runners, but he has been with Caroline since the Great Wall, and he's still there to offer us those images. Hats off to Frenchman Fleury Roux. Absolute legend and a great human as well.
Greg, est-ce que tu as mes images là?
Back in the house. How is it going, team, for you all at home? How good is this race? It's absolutely insane. The battle has been going on hard. I gotta say, maybe it's never done until it's done. You know, that finish line is still a few kilometers away, but right now on your screen, Caroline Kimutai is in the lead, and with 90 seconds on her on 2nd place, teammate, Jolie Chepgeno. And she's getting to the steepest part. When we did the Reiki, we were actually holding onto the branches. And you can see, you can even trip on the uphill. And this is where, you know, you need to be able to, you know, stay composed and, you know, power hike. She's trying to do this, but both her hands are full with, I believe, maybe a phone, or I don't really know what she has in her right hand on your screen. She's got a flask on the other hand, but, you know, she's carrying a pack. So at that point, maybe, you know, this is just a lack of experience of that new runner, and it's fine. She's getting experience right now, and I'm sure Julien is watching and taking notes. But basically, she's got the pack, so she went through the aid station, and instead of getting rid of those flasks, those empty flasks, and replacing them with a new one, she just picked up everything. So she's carrying everything, which is not only unnecessary, but also prevents her from using her hands to push on her quads and help her up climbing. Joylyn Chepgeno here on that climb. She would have probably made a little bit of ground. She's looking good. Moving up. Last split we have 92nd back in second place. And then again, Madalena Florea in third place. 3 minutes off the lead and 90 seconds back from second place, Joylyn. And Sarah Alonso representing Team ASICS in fourth, and we saw her quite a wee while ago on the images. So there she is, ladies and gentlemen, from Romania, representing Team Scott, power hiking. I think this is the way to go here. Madalena Florea chasing hard in third place. Hello, Damian from Golden Gate Production. He's filming to offer us images for the Golden Trail World Series recap that's going to be broadcasted on Eurosport after each and every stage of the Golden Trail World Series this season. So we got a whole team out there, and this is it. Second and third place. Woo! You can see Timothy tripped as well on the way up, right behind Patrick. And as you guys were saying in the chat, Patrick is the master when it comes to the steep uphill, and as much as they're going down and flat-ish, there is more of those punchy, painful climbs, exactly where Joylyn is at this moment. And this might be the place where Patrick should push to try and shake out Timothy and offer himself a little bit of a safety blanket before they get into the last 2 kilometers of this race and in the high point. And from that point on, it will be the course that these runners took on the way out. And it is 4 consecutive climbs, little bumps, before they eventually drop down for good and get onto the road and into the finish line. And yeah, again, we're pretty stoked to have Florio here because these are absolute skills. These are hours of being a camera runner. He's running in front, but still framing Caroline perfectly and handling those little descents. So I think we're getting to the high point now, and you can see it is that steep that even the world champion in vertical running had to walk for a few steps. And you see, as soon as you start to try and run, you slip and slide. So you are definitely on that section better off power hiking, which is what Madalena was doing, sitting in third. She might have closed the gap a little bit on her competition on that section. And here you can see the struggle is real. For Joylyn, she might actually be hitting a bit of a low. Hopefully she's been eating enough, but she's doing the crab, as we say in the business. She's going up sideways. And again, trying to run when a good power hike would be far more efficient. Julien was sending me videos of these athletes practicing power hiking, but this doesn't seem to be an automatic reflex just yet. And I think in a matter of 3-4 minutes, Patrick Kimino and Timothy Kibet will creep up on Joylene. And I gotta say, as much as Patrick Kimino is the climbing king, Timothy Kibet is right there and so far holding on to that pace. And you see, this is where actually, Julien was having them practice the power hacking. This is what Timothy is doing. And you can see Timothy is barely getting dropped, but he's able to switch back into running and keeping up with Patrick. Very, very smart move from Timothy here. And yeah, that's a good question in the chat. It is hot. It is very hot out there. As much as there's a bit of an overcast in the sky, it's not one that that cools the runners down. There is a bit of a wind though, and that is definitely helping a little bit with the heat. But all the runners the past few days especially have been anticipating a very hot race, and it is a hot race in every sense of the term. Right now we are yeah, this is now Caroline in the lead, and I think she's already going down. I don't remember exactly those switchbacks, so I gotta tell you that I'm gonna need to wait a little bit, but I'm gonna have an update very soon. Caroline still running in the lead. Oh yeah, that's the road. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. She is back on the road, so there's probably just less than a K to go. If I remember correctly, or I completely got it wrong, and that makes sense. My apologize, team. This is the 17K. I was very wrong, and I got confused big time. I apologize if anybody managed to correct me in the chat. I was also very confused by the times that these runners were going at. Yes, okay. We're back in the game. Sorry about that. So this, as we see across the road, is the 17K mark. So we haven't had images of Ezekiel for a while, but still in second and third place. Patrick Kimino, Timothy Kibet chasing hard. Okay, team, this is the news that we have sadly been waiting because the confusion was real. Joyce has DNF'd from the race as well. This is why she didn't appear in the rankings. But the thing is, we just had no images. So I've been told she DNF'd. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But it must have been quite a while ago because she disappeared from the ranking already at the last checkpoint. So it's hard to... Oh, wow. Yep, Patrick holding on to that tree, but that tree was coming with Patrick. They're still going down hard, and that's going to be the last 8 stations, 17 Ks into the race. Out of 24 across the line. Wow. And again, kudos to a cam runner. I mean, look at that. They are running alongside Patrick and Timothy, passing them to offer us those front images of this gentleman. Beautiful. On the right-hand side is drone shot. Florero still in the house, holding on to Caroline. who's still in the lead. There's a question. Yo, whoa. Timothy was a bit confused, but Patrick knew exactly where he was going. No gravity, though. There was a bit of momentum that took Timothy out on a bit of a wide turn here, but he is already back. And you can see, once again, Caroline drinking as much as she can. She's now, so she broke back into a run, but those steep sections are gonna be pretty hard if you're trying to run them all. So there we go, the update at kilometer 17. First Caroline, second Joeline, 2 minutes back. Madalena 3 minutes 40 back from the lead. So Madalena at kilometer 17 has lost another 40 seconds on Caroline in the lead. And Sarah Alonso is still crushing, and look at her run downhill to get to kilometer 17 to that aid station, and she's gonna be coming through that aid station in 4th place. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side of your screen, Patrick Kimino and Timothy Kibet have passed Joeline. Joeline sitting in 2nd on that climb. And that is a relentless climb. It keeps just going up and down and up and down. Hello, Mireia. Mireia also from the team that are creating those recaps that will be broadcasted on Eurosport. All the race recaps during the season will be available to watch on Eurosport. Thank you, RJ. Appreciate the good word. It is not always easy, and I apologize earlier for the little mistake. I got ahead of myself. Here, Sarah Alonso, she's going to try and hold up Cesare Maestri. Cesare coming in hot on that descent. And you can see there's a lot of dust flying. Cesare's going to try and make a move here. Whoa! Attenzione, attenzione. There you go. Cesare, who's doing a really good race right now. Like, I think he's just behind Joey. Actually, we haven't even seen Joey, so let's have a look at what the split tell us at the last checkpoint. We had Patrick Kimino in 1:38, like in the same second. Timothy Kibet, Joey. Joey was still in 3rd. Filemon Obongo is actually coming back, while Samuel Kiprocic is falling back in 5th. Ezekiel Ruto in 6th, and Cesare Maestri in 7. Whoa! Whoa, Philemon. Well, I guess his back was not hurting as bad as he led us to believe. He even said last night he wasn't sure he was going to take the start. And look at him now, cruising in 4th place. Only 40 seconds back from Joey Hadorn. Woo-hoo-hoo! So Joey now has passed Joeline and is on his way up to the highest point, probably 3-4 Ks away still from the finish line. Joeline moving well on those climbs, still running. She's very impressive. She's in 2nd, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be fooled. It is Coraline who's in 1st. Still, there has not been a pass. Just a little mistake here from the production. Joeline is in 2nd place in the women's race. Joeline Chepgueno from Team Milimani Runners, and in 1st, also Milimani Runners, Caroline Kimutai. That is right here on the left-hand side of your screen. Wow, so Samuel Kiprocic, who was with the top man, has fallen back, and yeah, Philemon Obongo is cruising now, moving up the field in 4th place. And I was telling you, at kilometer 17, the ranking still does not mean anything. The gaps are there, I agree, but especially in the men's, it's all within a minute or a couple of minutes, let's say, and anything can happen. Those climbs are very, very tough, and if you haven't looked after yourself, or if you've pushed a little too hard in the early stages of the race, this will come and bite you where you know. So kilometer 17 again. Patrick is together with Timothy in the same second. Joey 30 seconds back. Philemon 1 minute back. Samuel Kiprotich 2 minutes back. Ezekiel and Cesare in 7th. But it is incredible because here we're back with Caroline Kimutai, and as much as I had the feeling like it was going a bit steep, she was struggling. Look at this. It is still going uphill, but the minute the grade mellows down, she is moving. Here we go, second place woman, still mini runners, Joylene Chepgeno, last year's winner in both Sierre-Zinal and the Golden Trail Series final. In Locarno is currently running in second place, and Madalena Florea in third. Here's Sarah Alonso in fourth, still giving everything she has. She knows she needs to score as many points as possible because she was hoping to score really, really high points early in the season. So she was saying she was going to go Kobe, China, and Zegama, and then hoping that she could focus on OCC before going back to the final of the Golden Trail World Series in October in the north of Italy. So Dietrich, you asked how many runners were in this race. So there was an elite race, and then there was an open race. The open race took place this morning. I am not sure about the amount of runners. I think it was about 300 in the women's and in the men's. And then they had two separate races at 2 p.m. with the start of the women's elite race, and at 2:20 p.m. local time was the start of the men's elite race. And yes, Madalena is still in the race. She is still in third place. In last checkpoint we had at kilometer 17. She was less than 4 minutes back. 3 minutes 40 seconds back from Caroline Kimutai in first. And less than 2 minutes back from Joylene Chepgeno. Oh, Timothy Kibet on the left-hand side of your screen is looking back, seeing if his team partner kept up, but no, he didn't. Samuel Kiprotich has fallen back. Joey Hadorn will be the next man come in running in fourth so far. Actually fourth or fifth, because yeah, no, Philemon came back like a little demon, and he did that actually in Kobe too. And crept up on second place. So yeah, the last ranking in the men's is actually not accurate. And from the images we had, again, Ezekiel Ruto still in the lead, then chasing Patrick Kimeno and Timothy Kibet together, then Joey Hadorn or Philemon Kiriago. Yeah, so that's where we are still lacking a bit of an update. There we go. Our men's leader has caught up with Madalena Florea. Madalena is looking back, running in third, and still moving really, really well on that section. So it is very possible that now in the top three women's, there will be no blowouts. It looks like these three ladies are still moving really, really well, looking after themselves. And so the gaps are now rather substantial. Once again, at the last checkpoint we had 90 seconds between first and second, 90 seconds between second and third. And then Sarah was, I think, another 4 minutes back, so another minute back. And here he is, Philemon Obungo. So he would have passed Joey Hadorn if we are with the same cam runner. And now running in fourth place. Look at him go. No, I don't think he's in third, because unless there has been a problem with Ezekiel Ruto that we haven't seen in a while, Ezekiel was still in the lead. Then Patrick Kimeno and Timothy Kibet were both together and chasing. Oh yeah, now I have the update, and Ezekiel Ruto has fallen back. So we haven't him, he's fallen back in 6 I don't know if anybody has said that in the chat. I haven't looked for a while. No, so, okay. Rewind, and this is accurate. Patrick Kimeno and Timothy Kibet were first and second within a second of each other. Then in third, Joey Hadorn. Then in fourth, Philemon, here on your screen. So Philemon has now passed Joey and is indeed running in third. Okay, we have it back together. And so Ezekiel Ruto, who was leading. Yep, so there we go, confirmation. Joey Hadorn in third, Philemon in fourth. So there was a bit of a issue. So Joey is still holding off Philemon. Philemon is coming back strong, and it is Ezekiel Ruto, ladies and gentlemen, who was up until now, up until recently, leading the men's race. He's watch out, Joey. It is a very tough course at this location, very slippery with the dry sand, but Joey is absolutely going pedal to the metal. He does not want anybody to come and take his podium spot. Here's Yao Miao on that climb, I believe, yeah, in 5th place, still running, putting on hell of an effort and trying to keep up. But man, what a change in the men's race. And I didn't even see that happening. I apologize. We didn't have images of this. So Ezekiel Ruto has fallen back. And as much as he was looking extremely well, I guess that's it. He's the first popcorn, as we say, of the race. Patrick Kimeno, the boss, is in the house leading. But Timothy Kibet was very close. And Patrick could not shake him off. Joey, that we have on the images earlier, nearly hit the deck, but that's because he's going absolutely full throttle to avoid anyone come back onto him. Philemon, the little demon, is in 4th and creeping up. That's going to be dangerous for Joey, especially when they're going to hit the runnable section. Not that there are many on this course. And now the two gentlemen, leaders of the men's race, have passed Caroline, sorry. And see Caroline struggling, trying to run on that slippery ground. But the minute you start power hacking, you are feeling a little better. Woo! That is tough. That is tough. But again, I thought earlier that she was cooked and maybe didn't fuel enough. But it's just that she's not comfortable with that gradient, because the minute she was on the more runnable sections, she was able to, again, get the wheels out and start moving a lot faster. However, it really looks like she's slowing down now, so she must be bleeding second on second place on her team partner from Mini Mani Runners, Jolene Chemgedo. I was telling you there might be a late change in that last section, and it might still happen. And here's Sarah Alonso running in 4th. And not giving up the chase, head down. She knows the course, she knows how far the finish line is from her. And now we're being told that Sarah, no, yeah, that's not true, because yeah, there is the third woman here, Madalina Florea from Romania, representing Team Scott, still pushing hard, and Sarah in 4th is running as hard as she can now. And I mean, they've been running for 2 hours and 12 minutes, and it looks like they are all sprinting out. Man, the level of this Golden Trail series has gone one notch deeper. The field has gotten one notch deeper, the level maybe has gone one notch higher, and I am one notch more tired. But we keep it up, because this is a thrill to watch all these athletes give the best out of their best on what is probably one of the most challenging course that the season has ever seen. And now it is Joey Hadorn. And look at this! On the left-hand side of your screen, Joey Hadorn is being reeled in by Philemon Obungo. Philemon, he said that because his back was hurting, he was going to push on the up, and he has still matches, and he's blowing them up hard. And look at him, he's right there. Joey Hadorn is going to be probably a little bit surprised to see Philemon come back onto him, and Philemon, oh, that's going to be an extra boost, an extra mental boost. There you go. He's not going to wait. He's going to pass right away. And these two athletes, look at this, bit of a tap on the back. They know each other and have deep respect for one another. But that's it. Joey is not going to give up. He's a fierce competitor. And look at him. He took, look at this. This was the quintessential move of an orienteering runner. He saw the line. He went straight across instead of following the track. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, something happened. Patrick Kimeno is alone. He finally made the move I was telling you he was possibly gonna make on the steepest section of this course. He's about to get to the highest point, and he finally managed to shake off Timothy Kibet. What a demonstration here from the uphill king, last year's winner of the Golden Trail World Series and winner of the Kobe Trail last weekend. Patrick Kimeno is about to go 2 for 2 in the season. And in the meantime, Caroline Kimutai, Team Milimani runner Salomon, is still leading the women's race. And as we see again, the pattern is established. As soon as it's runnable, she's able to move rather well. Sarah giving everything she has in the descents, so I'm really hoping she doesn't hit the deck, because this is where, you know, your legs are starting to feel tired. You still want to break into the top 10, and this is it. This is, ooh, la, 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 la. Please stay with us, Sarah. And in the meantime, this is it. On the left-hand side of your screen, in the men's race, Patrick Kimeno has shifted another gear that nobody else had. And Timothy Kibet could not keep up. Look at him go, look at him fly. That climb is a monster. And Patrick is not a tad bit scared. Look at this, there's still another 2 climbs to get to that point, and these are 2 of the steepest climb before getting to the 3rd one, and that is going to be the 2-kilometer mark, where they're going to be undulating on the ridges for 4 times, 4 little kicks, and then dropping down onto the road. And here's Iru, another runner and camera person who is capturing the best images in the moment to offer us the quality recap that we are used to on the Golden Trail Series stages, and that will be broadcasted this year on Eurosport for every single stage. So there he is, Patrick Kimeno. He's got 2 more climbs before getting to this out and back, before getting to that section that they ran out the first 2Ks of the race. And in the meantime, on the right-hand side of your screen, Philemon Kiriago. Oh, but now I'm confused because he's shown in 2nd place. Does that mean that Timothy Kibet has blown out as well? Wait a minute. What just happened? Did you guys see that in the chat? Did I miss something? And look at this. Left-hand side of your screen. Men's race. Patrick Jimeno, 2023 uphill world champion, is using his hands to finish that climb. That will tell you something about the grade of that course at this very moment. In the meantime, the female leader, Caroline Kimutai, who's pulled away from the rest of the field right after the Great Wall section and is still looking like she's got a bit of a lead. She had 90 seconds at the last checkpoint on her team partner from Milimani Runners, Joylene Chepgeno. And then another 90 seconds back from Joylene was Madalena Florea. And then another 4 minutes back was Sarah Alonso. So this is it. Patrick is got one more climb, and then he's going to be up on the last 2 kilometers on that rolling ridge. He'll still have 4 punchy climbs, very short though. And then that's going to be the big W for him if he doesn't make any mistakes. He's looking over his shoulders, gauging how far they are. And here we had, I think it was 6th and 7th. If Cesare Maestri is still running in 7th. And there he goes, Samuel Kiprotich is walking. I think he's had enough. The pacing is a very tough thing to do, especially when you're new to the sport. He's young, but he is tenacious. And again, many solid years ahead of him. Oh, and look at that drone shot on the left. Patrick Jimeno absolutely flying to, this is the point. You can see people there. This is where the runners, so he's going to go straight, and the runners were coming towards the camera and onto the left to start the loop. So when he's going to get to these people, Patrick Jimeno will have 2 kilometers to go. He'll be on the ridge. We'll have 4 little punchy climbs. It's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. And then the last descent that is steep, technical, and slippery. And then the road. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Jimeno, 2Ks from the finish. Can you feel it? And I don't know which camera runner had the tough job to keep up with Patrick on that section, but I hope he's ready. And there we go. On the right-hand side, Caroline still leading the women's race. And as much as she looks defeated on those steep sections, look at her move. She is not done. And just like Patrick, on every flatter section, shifting gears, she wants that win, and she wants to show the world that this is a new name to pin right at the top of the females field at international level in the under marathon distance. She's already won to Joylene at a race in E10, a 25 kilometer. But again, there were doubts considering the travel. The first time you race outside of Kenya, but it didn't matter. It didn't seem to put a dent in Caroline's plan. She's looking back still to see what's happening, but I think Joylene is nowhere to be seen. The gap isn't probably enough, but again, you know me, I want some drama, so possibly I would love Joylene to creep up and offer us a massive fight towards the end. In the meantime, I believe in the men's race, there's going to be no fight. It's a one-man show here with Patrick Jimeno, who's on his way to scoring 2 wins after 2 stages of the Golden Trail World Series. Look at him go. He is, again, the strongest of the entire field during the press conference. The question was asked, you know, they are young ones, they are older runners, and he said, I am one of the seniors, but I now teach the young ones, and I still believe that I have plenty to teach them, and I'm confident that I can still bring it home, and that is exactly what he's doing. He didn't get too excited early on when Ezekiel was in the lead far ahead. He kept up with the pace that he believed was right. And again, experience shows that this was the thing to go. We're on the right-hand side with Sarah Alonso in the women's race, and she is creeping up on, I believe that is Samuel Kiprotich, who's having a bit of a tough time. Now we're switching back to 3rd place in the women's race, Madalena Florea, who will probably be getting close to the last climb, the last steep climb, before seeing the people who were at the 2 kilometer mark. Yeah, I think that last climb is right in front of her. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, Joey Hadorn, still running in 4th. But then with those descents, I really wonder if he's going to be able to And there we go. Less than 2 kilometers to go for our lead woman, Caroline Kimutai from Team Millimani Runners. And as much as we've picked up a few little mistakes here and there, the fitness compensates it all. And she is definitely flying over the competition today. And so I didn't count how many climbs Patrick has reached so far, but he must be getting close to the last descent. That first climb that we saw when these gentlemen went out of the gate 2 hours, 7 minutes ago. And so as soon as he's gonna get onto it, he's gonna be smelling the barn. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Keep an eye on the left side of your screen. Patrick Jimeno is on the last descent, and that is a cheeky one. So he's going to have to be careful. Now he is the only person who can actually get in his own way. I think the competition is far enough behind, so he just needs to look after himself and not trip. Here is Philomeno Bongo Kiriago, also from Team Run Together on Trails. And last images we had, he had passed Joey Hadorn. So is he running in second place? I believe he is. He's looking back. Joey can't be too far because you can see those hard downhills are not right for Philemon because his back hurts. But I think Philemon as well. We see Town right in the background, so Philemon is getting also to that steep section. He's not too far back. Oh, now Cam Runner is hitting the deck, but back on his feet. Kudos to him. Filming first. The adrenaline is now pumping hard through his veins, and we can be sure he's going to try and keep up with Philemon. So, ladies and gentlemen, what a switch in situation where the mini runners were first, third, and fourth, and now we have team run together on trails with first Patrick Kimeno and then Philemon Keriago Obongo in second place with Joey Hadorn hot on his heels. All right, there we go. Only a handful of seconds for Patrick until he gets on the road, and from then it's probably less than a K, just a slightly uphill on the road, gaining across, and then the finish line will be waiting to crown him the Jinshanling Great Wall Race. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, and look at the pace he's running out. 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 30 seconds elapsed, and he is absolutely flying. There is no one here who could match his performance today. Patrick Kimeno is still the king. And Philemon is also on the road now. Look how much he closed the gap on Patrick. The fact that he started conservatively and stayed back, he still had the wheels to push in the second part of the race, and there is probably less than 30 seconds between these two gentlemen. This is going to be too much for Philemon to catch up with Patrick, but this is again going to be a statement. First and second, exactly the same scenario, but with a different story for these two gentlemen compared to Kobe last weekend. Patrick, winner, and Philemon Keriago, second place. Patrick, 32 years of age, and Philemon, 23 years of age. The master is still ahead, but I'm losing my terms, but the student is creeping up. There we go. The last few meters for Patrick Kimeno. You see on the right-hand side of your screen, the finish line is there. And as they say here in Chinese, Jiao! They are waiting for him to crown him the Jinshanling Great Wall Champion. 24 kilometers, 1,889 meters of elevation gain and loss. And look at him. The finger is up in the air. First place again. What a legend. The king, ladies and gentlemen, is not dead. Patrick Kimeno! And I think he will be so pleased to see. So Joyce and Jiru, who did DNF'd, she's on the finish to congratulate her friends. But he'll be stoked to see Philemon come in second place. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Philemon Kiriago Obongol, he says, look at me, second place, I am still here, don't forget about me. And I think he can be happy because he really did not believe he could do anything too good today. And look at him, Joey Hadorn, probably one of the best race of his life. Considering the time he's ran, he was so close, and yet so far he will be stoked, and I can't wait to hear from him in the interview with Joey Hadorn, seeing how he kept it together. And look at him congratulating both Patrick and Philemon. He grabs Philemon's head, he's like, you little shit, you passed me in the end, you came back strong. I absolutely love the respect. He's asking for a bit of water. I think they're all suffering from the hit, but the respect, the camaraderie between all these runners is second to none. And that is also, ladies and gentlemen, the beauty of the Golden Trail World Series, a circuit with all the top athletes tour together and race each other. So they spend time training, wreaking the races, traveling together, and then throwing it down hard. Timothy Kibet has not given up entirely and falling from first to fourth place. I think he can be happy with that. Not the perfect race. Maybe he went out a bit too hard, but again, this is experience in the bag, and I think he'll be stoked, and that's going to be fire for him for the next races of the season. In the meantime, look at this on the right-hand side of your screen. Our lead woman, Caroline Kimutai, is getting now very, very close to the road as well. And so far, I'm saying so far because I'm still hoping for a bit of a battle. So far, Jonlin Shepyano has still not caught up with her. So Timothy Kibet once again in fourth place, running to the finish line, and I think he'll be stoked and relieved that this line is coming because he's given everything and more, and even though he faded, like, he's not dead and he's still looking strong on that section. We have the interview with Patrick Kimeno, so I'm just gonna stop talking and let's hopefully hear it.
But how did you make your decision to attack today? How did you change your strategy today?
First of all, I want to thank God. Secondly, I want to thank my manager for giving me morale. That I want to thank my manager for support he used to give me. Yesterday he was calling me, told me that I know you are very tired, but try to be in the leading group, and I tried to do the same he told me. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again on finishing the race. How are you? I'm looking forward to see you next year. Take a rest, take a rest. Everybody make some more noise for the winner, Patrick Kimeno! Okay.
So I think we missed a little bit the start of this interview. I think the question was, you know, you are seen as one of the seniors, but experience today paid off. How did that work out? So too bad we didn't get that, but I'm sure we'll have the full interview in the recap. In the meantime, fourth place, Timothy Kibet is still in the house. Well, there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Kathleen Kimutai from Team Milimani Runners is now on the road. Last kilometers, and Timothy can be happy. He was fourth at the Golden Trail World Series final in Locarno last year. Fourth again this year after a very daring race strategy. Maybe not the best, but again, we love runners who run with their heart and give everything they have. A bit of panache is always great, and it definitely adds an element to this fantastic trail running show that the Golden Trail World Series is offering you. We are now, yes, she's about to get across the road. We see on the other side the finish line. She's there, and that's going to be also in the bag. First participation, ladies and gentlemen, in the Golden Trail World Series. Caroline Kimutai, representing Team Milimani Runners, sponsored by Salomon, is going to take the big W. I was telling you at the beginning of the race, this is a name you're going to have to remember because she is here to stay. And the statement for her first race is loud and clear. Count on me. Even though she might not have as much experience as the other runners, well, she has the wheels and she has the engine. And ladies and gentlemen, she will be the 2025 Jinshanling Great Wall Trail Race winner. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Caroline Kimutai. And I did not talk about it the entire race, but what a haircut. Absolutely love it. What a style. There we go, Samuel Kripotic from Team Millimani Runner. He might actually give a few words of encouragement to Jorlene. They are team partners. Jorlene running in second on that road section. She would have managed, therefore, on that descent to hold off Madalena Florea running in third. Look at that stride. They're going to have to be close to 3:10, 3:20 minutes per K on that uphill road to the finish. Man, they are moving. In the meantime, the man who creeped up all day, representing Team Nike coming from Italy, it is Cesare Maestri. Well done. He will be stoked about that. 5th place, I believe, if I counted right. Ah, 5th place, my bad. Wait, did he pass Timothy Kiben? Oh, there's a bit of confusion here. Woo-hoo-hoo. This is a big smile anyway. Oh yeah, he did. Man! Cesare Maestri finishing 4th. Because here is Timothy Kibet right in front and right on the corner of your screen, 2nd place, Jolene Shepgeno. So I was wanting a pass and we had it, we just didn't have it on the screen. And Samuel Kripotic finishing and Jolene Shepgeno. Oh, she worked hard, but look at her. She's already familiar with the crowds and giving high fives. This is what we want. We want win, and this is what we have. Characters. Those runners are here for the show as well. Madalena, head down. The face is the pain cave. She's going in hard, and she's also asking the camera to get off her face, which is understandable. She's giving everything she had, but she will be extremely pleased with a solid 3rd place. So again, recap, because I think I got a bit confused once again for that finish line. So first, and the king, Patrick Kimeno, Philemon Obongo, 2nd place, Joey Hadorn, 3rd. Timothy Kibet, we missed him in 4th. Then Cesare Maestri was in 5th. And Samuel Kiprotic in 6th. Just ahead of Jolene Shepgeno. Jolene Shepgeno, 2nd woman across the line. Went back down the finishing chute to give high five. And here on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, representing Team Scott and coming from Romania, Madalena Florea will come and take the 3rd spot of the podium in this Jinshanling Great Wall Trail Race. And finally, she breaks into a smile. It is there, giving away high fives and a bit of a dance. Ah, how good does that finishing chute taste? And here he comes right behind, representing Team Brooks. I told you this was the man, Mr. Consistent, no matter what, he scores the top 10. Daniel Patis. Oh, and I think we've missed one of the men, ladies and gentlemen. They're still coming in hot. I think that was a Brooks runner. Oh, look at this! Look at this! What a pass! What a late pass for French runner Pierre Galbourdin. Well done, Pierre. And Ezekiel has got nothing left. That would have been a bit of a tough finish. But he tried. Bogdan Damien, ladies and gentlemen, from Romania, representing Team Datacor with a smile on his face. He can be happy about his performance today. They were stronger runners, no doubt about it. But the way he finishes is pretty satisfying indeed. He's looking over his shoulder. He's got experience. He doesn't want anybody to come and pass him in this finishing shoot. And he sees no one is inside, so he can afford to give away a few high fives. And there he comes. Once again, Bogdan Damien. Third place last weekend at the Kobe Trail, only 3 seconds away from Philemon Kiriago. He's a little further back today, but that was a very different course, and he can be happy. We've missed Sarah Alonso a little bit, but she managed to run herself in 4th place, and she will be stoked about that as well. Sorry, there was quite a lot going on here, and I'm trying to keep up with everything. We're back a little bit further away from the road. Yao Miao was indeed getting close to her last descent. And here on the road, probably going to take 12th place, I believe, Juho Yilinen. And that road section, after such hard and relentless ups and downs, is a curse, is a tough one. But again, it also gives you the chance to look over your shoulder and see if anybody's breathing down your neck or not. And in Juho's case, he just has to keep cruising to the finish. And I think I might have seen Anders Krajovic crossing the road, cheering him on, which would mean that Anders would have dropped out of the race because he definitely was at the start. Here we go, Sylvain Cachard, Frenchman representing Team Hoka. So that was Sylvain that we had seen on the earlier images before the Great Wall with the red t-shirt. And it looked like it was a tough day in the office for Sylvain. He might have again suffered from the heat, but good on him for making it to the finish. That was a tough race in Kobe. That was the first time in his entire career that he had to drop out of a race. And so regardless of how tough today was going to be, Sylvain was going to make it to the finish. And yep, it was a tough one, but kudos to him. That will feel like a win over himself and a good lesson to take for the finish. Coming in, I believe in 5th place, if I did the math right, Yao Miao. Oh, and it looks like she's hurting a little bit, but she's still moving. And I'm actually unsure who's chasing behind. We caught a glimpse of Marie Nivet and Rachel Tomojczyk behind her, so we'll see. But it doesn't look like there's a runner behind, but I think it's a male runner. So Yao Miao should be in the safe to secure a 5th place. And Dylan Ribeiro is about to cross the line. He was on the left-hand side of your screen with also a red top. We're going full screen on Yao Miao for the last minutes of her race. She would have tried, and I think her fans and the crowds of China will still bring her on as if she was the champion. She is an absolute legend here in China. Here's Dylan crossing the line here. Bravo, the two Frenchies. Oof, looks like it was a tough day for Dylan as well. And here is Ryunosuke Omi, Japanese runner, finishing strong. And look at Yao Miao. She's giving everything she has and a little more. She wants to honor that course and give her absolute best. She will fly until the finish and maybe go back to cheer the crowds after she's crossed the line. Look at the face. The game face is on. What an athlete. What an inspiration. And you can see indeed the crowds are cheering loud for the local favorite Yao Miao, finishing in 5th. And I think there's a question in the chat. Fabienne should be right behind Jinjiang. Here, Chinese runner Yang Jingjiang is there on your screen, and I think Fabienne should be right behind according to the previous rankings. At least this is what I had seen. And right after Fabienne would be Aitor as well. People were asking in the chat where Aitor was. And so Yang Jingjiang, man, he's moving well on that road section. There we go, images of Yao Miao trying to recover. We'll have the top 5 protocol across the line. Hopefully we'll have that live. The celebration of the top 5 men and women, the traditional champagne. And in the meantime, the women's race is still on because we're waiting for the top 10 to come in before we can actually have the official the official top 10 ceremony. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up a little bit. And so in 6th place, I believe Takako Takamura, according at least to the last checkpoint, but that was a while ago. Marie Nivet from France was chasing hard in 7th. Ling Jiqi from China was in 8th. Courtney Kopinger in 9th. Rachel Tomachik had fallen into 10th place. So this is the provisional top 10. But we have yet to wait to see them come across the line. And in the meantime, Yang Jiangjiang from China.
To win course, I train a lot from November up to now. That's why I encourage myself that I have to be a winner of today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
There she is, and it is indeed Takako Takamura from Japan, who had a really good race in Kobe and once again proves that now she stepped up the game this season to finish consistently in the top positions of the Golden Trail World Series. There we go, Team Japan. Let us know if you're here and send your words of encouragement to Takako Takamura. again, who's scoring extremely high. For 2 races in a row. And so here we go. One more woman across the line in 6th place. So once again, winner today, Karen Kimutai. Then Joylene Chepgeno. Then Madalena Floria. Sarah Alonso in 5th place. Yao Miao. 6th place here on your screen, Takako Takamura. And then the provisionary 7th place, according to the last checkpoint, is Marie Nivet from France. And then Ling Ji Chi in 8th place, and possibly in 9th, Courtney Kopinger and Rachel Tomajczyk in 10th. There you go, in the men's on your screen, all smile. Look at this gentleman, Patrick Kimino, the ultimate winner. The king is still in the house. 2nd place, Philemon Kiriago Obungo. 3rd place, with a big smile, Joey Hadorn, Team Salomon. Then, Timothy Kibet in 4th, and in 5th, Cesare Maestri. Watch your eyes, team. Keep the thumb on the cork while you shake it. And Cheeky Philemon is getting the crowds. What a celebration again. And I think Patrick might have changed a little bit too early. Here's Aitor crossing the line. Good effort. And also gets a bit of a champagne shower. Here she is in 7th place, ladies and gentlemen, coming from France with a very good performance today, Marie Nivet. And this is her first participation in the Golden Trail World Series. And she will score a 7th place. There she is, coming from France, ladies and gentlemen, Marie Nivet. She's got wheels on the road, there's no doubt about this, coming from mountain running. She's transitioning to trail running, and successfully so. Marie Nivet, who's got a twin sister who's also a runner. In the meantime, we're still going back and forth. Théo Bourgeois from France is about to finish. Oh no, he's actually coming out of the, coming onto that road stretch that Marie Nivet is about to finish. And there he is. You were asking for him in the chat, Fabian Benero from Team Salomon. And so Fabian still might clock a... Nah, he is... there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your top 10. Caroline Kimutai, winner of the day. Joylene Chepgeno in 2nd place. Madalena Floria in 3rd. Here's Marie Nivet, 7th place. And she'll give a high five to these ladies to congratulate them. Sarah Alonso in 4th place and 5th place for Yao Miao. Looks like she needs a bit of experience with the champagne. She's got the running part dialed, but it looks like there's going to be a little bit of practice to be done with champagne. Good on you, Elisa, for helping her out. And there we go. Still, as much as this is the last thing they need for recovery, it just tastes too good to miss. And we're still waiting for the 8th, 9th, and 10th woman across the line. While we have the top 10, and you can see that Sylvain Cachard is 10th, 14 minutes and 14 seconds back for Patrick Jimeno. Philemon Mbongo managed to come back within less than a minute from Patrick Jimeno. Joey Hadorn holding on so close again, and yet so far 3rd place, probably the best trail race of his career, because once again I repeat, he's an orienteering runner. Timothy Kibet, a lot of experience in the bag today. He ran with panache, but that wasn't enough. Cesare Mastri, who's been playing the game from the back and creeped up all day. Samuel Kiprotich also was trying to hold on, but didn't quite make it, although 6th place is fantastic, don't get me wrong. Daniel Patis still safe and sound in 6th place. And then Samuel Kiprotich, Ezekiel Ruto also, who had the lead race and then completely collapsed in 8th, still pretty damn good. Bogdan Damien, super happy with 9th, and Sylvain Cachard looked like he had a bit of a tough race, but still rounded up the top 10. Here, Chi Lingjie is coming in and will be 8th place, right behind Marie Nivet. And she's been racing hard in the Golden Trail World Series. She was 2nd at the Jiufeng Grandmaster Trail 30K, and also 2nd at the VDH at the Trail Donghai, both races earlier this season. So she is definitely playing the Golden Trail National Series in China. And here with an international field, she's falling down off the podium, but still, I think, being the second Chinese across the line after Yao Miao, she will still probably score really valuable points in this Golden Trail National Series in China. There she is, one more turn. And she'll be in the finishing chute. And she would have covered the 24 kilometers and 1,889 meters of elevation gain and loss. Brutal course, as you have all seen. And so we still have, there she is, 8th woman across the line. Big smile on her face, and she can be proud. Chi Lingjie. Woo! Really, really big day. And so she'll be definitely welcome on stage. We'll be celebrating the top 10 men and women at the award ceremony that will take place shortly after the top 10 athletes have come across the line, and then doping control obviously will come in full force. with 3 athletes male and 3 athletes female, but not necessarily the top 3 of each race. They choose whoever they feel they need to be testing. And here's another male runner, Yang Yong. And there he is across the line. And one more runner who's kissed the ground. You can see on his forearm. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, your 9th woman. Coming in strong, representing Team Brooks, Courtney Koppinger. And it's good to see them all come in with a smile of satisfaction. They've all given everything they had on the day. And what a day. What a day for Courtney. Scoring a top 10 here is really solid. Oh, I am excited to see him come through, because I thought I had seen him on the sidelines and therefore that he had dropped out, but no. Anders Krajvik, aka Pony, is still in the race and will come across the line shortly. At the beginning of the Golden Trail World Series, when we still had the uphill, sprint, and downhill segments, he was the ultimate downhill runner and was winning all the downhill segments. Anders Krajvik, also an artist. If you go on his Strava profile, he has the best designs on the map. And there she is, rounding up the top 10, ladies and gentlemen, coming from the US, Rachel Tomajczyk. Well done. What else can I say about Anders? Yeah, as much as I've been spreading rumors about him having retired from selling a software company, that was completely fake news. It was a real estate company, and he's still playing around in his chopper. He flies a helicopter when he feels like he needs to go a little further exploring, even though this man has been consistently clocking 200 plus kilometers in the past few seasons. I don't know if he's still at this such high mileage. He might have slowed down a bit, but he's still there, and this is a face we love to see on the Golden Trail World Series. Great human. There he is. And this is a cap he's bought here. I've seen that before. This is awesome. Well done, Anders. Think this good time is over. We will give back the image to the studio. We're gonna be done with this live broadcast of the Jinshanling Great Wall. I don't know if we're gonna have another recap of the top 10, but the overall recap will be available on Eurosport shortly. Thank you all for being with us for this outstanding race. This was by far one of the best live broadcasts we've had so far, and we loved having you all in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, the next meetup for the Golden Trail World Series is going to be in Italy, in Noli. If you were with us 2 years ago for the final, this is going to be the exact same course, and we're going to be broadcasting this race live for you all. In the meantime, I am Martin Gaffuri, and from China, we're tuning out.